out of town. 1,000,000. Get that shotgun shot. 604. Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane off and running. Brian here with you. Breland producing. Starting you off at 64 degrees in downtown Baton Rouge. We broadcast live from the 180 Pros studio. 180 Pros, not your IT provider, your IT partner. Getting geared up for a busy Friday show. We actually don't have any guests scheduled in the first hour. Going to be super news heavy, and I'm sure you can guess what that news is. All about the elections. Well, for the most part. We got a few other things to cover right there as well. But once we get into the 7 o'clock hour, Blair Edwards is running for, Blair Downing Edwards is running for State Supreme Court. She's going to join us at 7:15 via the hotline. Patty G's in the house for the first time in a little while. He had had a little bit. So back off of a little paternity leave right there. Patty G is going to talk business at 7:35. Ben Aguinaga from the AG's office, he's our state's Solicitor General, going to join us at 8:05. Yes, we're talking about the AG's office kind of being painted into a corner with where we're at right now based off the timing of everything and where their fight heads in the Western District to get us in a spot where our state's legislature does have to draw up a new map. We've got Derek Babcock from the Republican Party at 8:15 talking about the amendments that are on the ballot. And then we're going to have Brett Arceneaux from Arceneaux on the River in for Foodie Friday. But right now, though, we start you off with top stories and trending. Let's get it. East Baton Rouge Metro Council voted to appoint the new parish attorney last night. Criminal defense and personal injury lawyer John McClendon will take on the new role following the council's vote at that special meeting, which was held, I said last night, it was Thursday afternoon. We were a day out in front on this one. Baton Rouge police are monitoring social media for plans of retaliation following the fatal shooting of West Clark, also known as Cleasy 5. Quote, there's a lot of conversation going on about this particular shooting, who it involved, who this person was assassinated with, said Lieutenant Elgene McNeely. According to posts online, Clark was a close friend of rapper Fredo Bang and an affiliate of TBG, the Top Boy Gorilla Rap Collective. TBG has longstanding feuds with rival groups in the area, including internationally known rapper NBA Youngboy's Never Broke Again crew. I know.
What?
Just,
I can't clown, but I don't know where they come up with these names.
the Never Broke Again crew?
Yeah.
What's the NBA?
Oh, clever.
Makes it sound like, now, the Top Boy Gorilla?
I know.
That sounds, well, you know what? I'll save my punchline on that one until we're off air and just on Facebook Live.
Okay.
Because,
good.
Yeah, kids listen and whatnot. It's not where you think it's going, by the way.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, no. It's not it's not where you think it's going. Okay, number 3.
Yes.
BRPD is searching for a person who officer shot after the suspects fired shots at a vehicle on Hollywood Street. According to the Baton Rouge Police Department, the suspect was walking down Hollywood Street near Longfellow Drive when they shot at a vehicle. BRPD said the suspect pointed their gun at an officer before the officer returned fire. No word if anyone was injured. Governor Jeff Landry signed an executive order to suspend next month's primary elections so state lawmakers can pass a new congressional map. This comes after a Supreme Court decision that struck down Louisiana's second majority black congressional district in a 6-3 ruling. So as I understand it, we're going to take a deeper dive throughout this hour. But as I understand it, the congressional race is the only one nixed from the ballot, which, by the way, early voting opens tomorrow. I'm not allowed to cancel baseball and softball games, but my goodness, we've got a 95% chance of rain today. And the way it's mapping out on the hour-by-hour scale or hour-by-hour forecast, looking like it's going to be rough to squeeze in anything at the Box or at Tiger Park today. Obviously, stay tuned right here, monitoring the situation. Softball runs right here on Talk 107.3 FM. Baseball over on Eagle 98.1, as we are the flagship of LSU sports. Now, that being said, if anything comes across, we will have it for you as quickly as is humanly possible.
Well, the partial government shutdown is over. Congress passed a bill that covers most of Homeland Security.
Hey, it doesn't cover ICE, and there's one other thing it doesn't cover. But they're pushing a couple of other bills to get that done separately. I don't understand anything anymore.
And, I knew that it was still going on, but we haven't heard anything in the news about it. So I thought
they found a secondary way to pay TSA.
So people piped down.
Right. Yeah, there was TSA was getting paid. So, but it was through a secondary fund that they were siphoning off from somewhere else that was drying up.
Oh, okay. That's why we didn't hear about it. Yeah. Okay. The war in Iran enters day 60, which should be the point where Congress would need to step in to declare war.
Yes.
But the Department of War insists that the ceasefire changes that date. Okay. So what does this all mean? I mean, I know what it means, but they're saying, Congress, you don't have the authority.
So what Pete Hegseth is saying is that because there's a ceasefire, we're not at war. We're not currently attacking. So you got to reset. But we're not, because it's a ceasefire. See how it's kind of a gray area right there. So it's the Department of War's take is that you got to start that 60-day. The 60 days resets because of the ceasefire.
Gotcha.
So if they start shooting again, now we're back to day one. And if they call a ceasefire again,
I see what you mean. It's that fine line,
right?
That Congress can't. Okay,
right.
Now it makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
so many lines, and
I know. Think of it like being really bad at intermittent fasting.
Right.
Yeah, I haven't had anything to eat in hours, and then you eat. It's like, well, I haven't had anything.
But
to eat.
It resets the clock now.
It reset the clock. Right. Same. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Terrible, right?
Okay. Yesterday, this happened probably in the 8 o'clock hour. Somebody put this in the chat. Well, it is confirmed. David Allen Coe passed away yesterday.
I mean,
and I'll hang around.
David Allen.
That is so sad. He was. Hang on. I should know this.
I had no idea he was still alive. And I feel it's an insult to country music that he was still alive.
Gosh, 1939. Born in Akron, Ohio.
Right.
86 years old.
Your boy was 86. Wow. You never even called me by my name. So can we take it back to the my audience is going to shrink down to like 3 people right now, and 2 of them are listening.
I probably
online.
Won't get it.
No, you're not going to. Boston Street Pub in Covington. That song closed it out every night. Every night. That was the closing song at the Boston Street Pub.
It wasn't Closing Time by
No, Closing Time wasn't out yet. By Semisonic? No, It wasn't even out yet. That was the closer as the bar was shutting down.
Do you know how in bars, in clubs, Texas Club too, you can gauge, and you know this from DJing, you can gauge the amount of drunkenness in the crowd when that song comes on. Let me.
Oh my goodness.
If they can talk, you're like, okay, they're just feeling it a little bit.
Right.
But when people are way off key, yelling things, I'm like, okay, we're drunk.
Yeah. And that's one of the classics that just brings it out of everybody.
It does.
You don't sing that, you wail that. So
yep.
David Allen Coe passes at 86. I had no idea he was still alive.
He's still kicking. So is Willie.
He was.
Well,
Willie's still kicking. Yeah.
Willie's still kicking.
Regardless of when his actual birthday was, but it was sometime this week. We're at 613 to Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. We'll talk a little LSU baseball when we talk sports in just a minute. I do need to remind you about the Baton Rouge Metro Airport. FlyBTR.com is their website, FlyBTR.com. If you've not yet made your summer travel plans for the fam, give the Baton Rouge Metro Airport a look. No, I know. Instantly, people think if we're flying, you're flying the family. The Baton Rouge Metro Airport is for business. No, give it a look. Take into account the whole experience, okay? The drive down there, the exorbitant parking down in New Orleans versus here, the TSA experience there versus here, and the access to where you're going. If, for example, you're going to our nation's capital, Washington, D.C., there's a direct flight, leaves out in the 6 o'clock hour every morning, comes back same evening. It's fantastic. Flies you right into Reagan National. And as we're looking at not just summer plans, but football plans as well, Delta's added a whole bunch of flights for LSU games. You can learn more about those at flybtr.com. Oh, coffee.
Coffee. I edit this clip.
Huh?
I'm gonna edit this clip for you. Where's my babies? Tell them they cannot open that door. That cat is skittish. She's gonna run out. If they gotta see the cat, they can open it slowly and peek through a little crack. Don't let them open that door. That cat will run out. If she has claws, I don't need that cat running off in my house. Bobby bees. Okay. Okay, I was way off. It's not a minute long. It's 15 seconds. But I have. Wait. No. It's 30 seconds. And then I have that clip. And then I have that one. That's 8 seconds. So I'll have 2 clips.
Okay, I want to hear them when we go into news at the bottom of the hour, so I'll know where we're going on the way back out. .618 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. It is sports time. Diving in. I know it's probably not going to see much baseball, if any, today. Although the weekend is stacking out to be gorgeous once today gets clear. LSU's baseball team is in a must-win situation right now. They got to win the series. They probably should get the sweep if they want any chance at all of making the postseason. South Carolina rolls into the box tonight. Both the Tigers and Gamecocks. The backs against the wall on both fronts. LSU coach Jay Johnson believes South Carolina will give his team their absolute best shot. Cut 17, please.
They're not out of it from a postseason standpoint at this point, so they'll give it everything that they have. And like some of our guys, this is the last baseball a lot of those guys are going to play. And sometimes when you get to the end of that, you get the best out of guys because there's nothing to lose, nothing to be afraid of, those kinds of things. So I expect it to be highly competitive.
Which is interesting because from LSU's perspective, they've gone for a younger lineup. So you're not getting the last baseball out of anybody. You're getting more, a tune-up for next year, but at the same time, though, improving your team when it comes to run production as well. But run production hasn't been the problem the last handful of games. It has been holding on to leads in SEC play over the last 3 weeks. And then you lose your big lead, and then you can't close out the 1-2 run game at the end. Johnson believes that could change soon. Cut 18.
think we're moving in a direction. We're not as far away from winning those games. I know it sounds weird because we just lost 3 close ones last weekend, but it's not coming at the rate that it needs to. But I think we're going to be better positioned here these last 3 weekends to be on top in one of those based on the pain of the season so far.
Our scheduled first pitch is 6:30, but stay tuned for headlines as to when that could change. Here's Fox Business. Mm-hmm. Yeah, our elevator is a schoolyard bully.
Oh, I know.
Like,
it'll slam the damn door. It doesn't care if you have waste.
It depends. Like if I have a fresh cup of coffee in my hands, it's gonna shove me into the lockers every single time. Might as well pull down my pants while you're at it.
It wasn't so aggressive. Like,
just pull down my pants and call me gay. Oh, by the way, Top Boy Gorilla.
Oh yes, please tell me that.
That just sounds like a DJ on a gay cruise.
It does. Like,
Oh. No, I wasn't going racial on that. No.
I'm like, damn.
DJ Top Boy Gorilla. That's somehow more offensive. I don't know. Starting off your Friday, not looking bad on the interstates. It's a lot better on 10 westbound headed towards Lafayette as opposed to earlier in the week. I-12 westbound coming in from Livingston Parish. Surprisingly good right now. No volume at all to report. It is smooth sailing on both 12 westbound coming in from Livingston Parish and 10 westbound coming in from Ascension Parish. Flipping things around at 10 eastbound, coming back across from West Baton Rouge, we look good. I-110's looking good as well. Now, all that being said, there is on the big board one accident reported right now that's up on the interstates. It's 10 at the 10-110 split. However, it's from over an hour ago, and I'm not showing any delays as a result of it, so I wouldn't necessarily worry about it. It's probably already been moved, just didn't get erased from the board. Surface streets, there's no accidents to report now either. So that's a good start to your Friday morning from the Talk 107.3 Traffic Center. .624, Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Coming up in our next two segments, we're going to take a look at all the news of the Supreme Court ruling to the governor's executive order. What does that mean? Where are we now? And in the 8 o'clock hour, Ben Aguinaga, our state solicitor general, is going to join us at 8:05 to talk about it from a legal perspective. We're looking to hunt down Nancy Landry early next week to get the Secretary of State's perspective, because she's the one that runs all the dadgum elections. But yesterday was just flooded with me outgoing phone calls and text messages. But this stuff is moving very quickly. And landing on the right spot is important, but also when you're moving fast, it gets a little more difficult to stick the landing. So we're going to walk through all of it throughout the morning and probably on into next week as well. But like I said, early voting opens tomorrow. We'll get to that in a little bit. It is 6:25 at Talk 107.3 FM. Before we dive back into our next topic, I did need to remind you about the folks over at ExxonMobil. ExxonMobil has been part of Louisiana for more than 115 years, standing at the intersection of energy and opportunity. Generations of families have built careers here, supported by a culture rooted in safety, innovation, and long-term commitment. Working in partnership with local leaders and stakeholders, landowners, and first responders, ExxonMobil has set the standard for prioritizing safety, investing for the future, and committing to the communities in which we operate. Now, as Louisiana's energy economy continues to evolve and meet domestic and global demand, ExxonMobil is investing in technologies such as carbon capture and storage to help reduce emissions, strengthen industry, and bring new economic opportunities to communities across Louisiana. This is not about walking away from what has built Louisiana, because energy doesn't just power today. It's about using what we know to keep building what's next. If you would like to learn more, visit aboutlaccs.com. aboutlaccs.com. Anybody following the Red Eye? The new email service. It's J.R. Ball, Mukul Varma put this thing together. I signed up for it the day that, I signed up for it actually before it launched. And I've been getting the email every single day since it launched. And I got to tell you, having another news outlet in town, another independent local news outlet in town, has been refreshing. A bit heavy on the park stuff, on the Breck stuff, but that's natural. It's one of the many things that's in flux right now. But I was bumping around the Red Eye or reading the email a little bit earlier in the week. Because you get a daily email. It comes in about 5:30 every morning, which is about the time I'm putting the last buttons on the show. So I want to take you back to earlier in the week. I think this was either Tuesday or Wednesday morning. They had a great article about, it's called The Few Behind the Many. Talk about crime in Baton Rouge. Red Eye reports, and I quote, "Last week's deadly shooting at the Mall of Louisiana was the latest reminder Baton Rouge's violence problem feels enormous. District Attorney Hiller Moore says it may be finite." Okay, let's go from there. Let's see what they got. The Red Eye says, Moore estimates that 30 to 40 loose groups are responsible for most of the shooting in the parish. Each has 15 to 20 members. That puts the number of people closest to most gun violence at roughly 500 to 800 in a parish of nearly 500,000. Quote, "That's what focused deterrence is," Moore said. "You focus only on those driving the crime." Now, that framing is the foundation of Group Violence Intervention. A GVI training for local stakeholders is scheduled for early May. It's organized through the National Network for Safe Communities at John Jay College of Criminal Justice. Ashla Burgess, who helped build BRAVE under Moore, now leads the Office of Violence Prevention under Mayor Sid Edwards, is spearheading the local effort. This is fantastic. Having this kind of direction means that we can finally start to see real chunks being taken out of things. Look, the district attorney's office and the court system in Baton Rouge has been awash for some time now, buried under a case backlog. To hear Hill and Moore talk about 30 to 40 loose groups with 15 to 20 members each, resulting in 500 to 800 people. Well, if you could narrow that down and make sure that your best pitches are when they're at bat, now you can really start to see something that makes a significant difference in Baton Rouge. Because numbers-wise, when they spell that out numbers-wise, we're a relatively safe community. But how many times do we talk about the idea of, are we safe versus do we feel safe? And honestly, feeling safe makes all the difference. But when you have instances like last Thursday at the mall, feeling safe is going to trump being safe all day long, because you don't feel safe when that happens. That's in public. That's where our kids go to hang out during the summer. That's where our seniors go to get their steps in. things like that, as rare of an occurrence as it might be, it impacts how we feel about, participating in a community. Red Eye goes on to say why this matters. It's not another broad anti-crime initiative. GVI does not ask law enforcement to sweep neighborhoods or solve poverty. It identifies the specific people closest to the retaliatory violence and delivers a direct message: stop shooting or face focused prosecution. Now, for a parish that has tried and failed at this before, the strategy is only as good as the system built around it. So I can guarantee you, this is a system we're going to be following the entire time, because this is where we can finally see some real impact. Makes you wonder where it's been this whole time. We're up at 6:30 at Talk 107.3 FM, diving into the closed primaries and where we're at. That's all coming up next. Right now, here's news. All right, let me hear the first one. The short one came from BRZ.
Yes. For the time to give it to us on the eve of the election, where they're telling us we have to draw it, telling us we don't have to draw. Should we draw?
Okay.
All right, this is from WDSU.
The three-judge panel basically is saying that, listen, there's been a reset over the last couple of decades. Parties have used Section 2 to basically legally entangle states in the redrawing of congressional districts. This no longer does that. This says, hey, listen, if you're going to bring these issues, it's going to be an equal protection claim, and then that would draw the three-judge panel, which then sends it directly to the United States Supreme Court.
That doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
I know.
All right. Was there another one that?
Yeah, let me pull up a WWL ad. Hang on.
What if your dog was don't let your vacation rental and your hammock be invisible. Get seen, get booked on Booking.com. Louisiana can't afford a rhino in robes. Liberal Blair Edwards record speaks for itself. WWL TV breaking news now. We're going to be with breaking news on this Thursday.
Landry is planning to keep the Mason City election scheduled for other races like the seat for Senate, the constitutional amendments, and local races. Here's what we don't know at this hour: when the legislature plans to redraw the map, redraw the pink map of the state capitol near WWL and Secret Wilson. At today's third special session meeting, the state Senate voted 27 to 11 to overrule the congressional redistricting.
That's from 3 years ago.
Yeah.
With breaking news, a Democratic candidate and voter have filed a lawsuit against Governor Jeff Landry and
That sounds right.
U.S. Supreme Court's 6-3 decision in Louisiana versus Calais struck down the state's second majority minority.
Our way through that, and what our options are. We're basically working our way through that, and I will be discussing those options with the Attorney General. I've spoken to her twice now,
that one.
and with the legislative leadership.
So what's next? State lawmakers.
That was before he gave the executive order.
That's from Channel 4, WWL.
We'll do with WWL's first, and then
That other, the
Yeah.
short one.
Yeah, and then channel 2 after that. Now, are you going to be able to dub them over so that you're not subject to like something popping up out audio wise afterwards or audio resetting with a pre-roll spot?
Yeah.
Or do you have to play them from
I'll
the
download from MP3 Cal. I'll put it in like one of these where YouTube to MP3 converter. It's a free thing.
Oh, that doesn't infect the computer?
Not MP3 Cal. The ones that you have to like download stuff and all that, I never do those. I just do the free ones that you can do online. Like,
Oh, okay. I've always just straight dubbed them.
Get ready for a very gloomy and wet Friday. We'll have widespread showers and thunderstorms for most of the day. Although there might be a few times where it is dry, it's going to be raining at the location. It's not more than it is not. Highs only getting to 66 degrees, and into that overnight hour, we're going to carry the chance for widespread showers. We're going to clear things up in the early morning hours of Saturday. By the time things are said and done, we're going to pick up 1 to 3 inches of rain.
What our options are,
you don't want this long one, the one that makes no sense.
No, I don't want the one that makes no sense. .636 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. The Talk 107.3 Spring Cha-Ching, powered by Citizens Bank and Trust, is back. Register today at talk1073.com for your chance to win $5,000 cash. It's Spring Cha-Ching from Citizens Bank and Trust and Talk 107.3 FM. All right, our guest list doesn't get cranked until next hour, y'all. We'll have Blair Edwards running for state Supreme Court at 7:15. Patty G's back in the house. It's been a minute since Patty G's been by, so super duper looking forward to that. And then we'll get into some of the election stuff with Ben Aguinaga from the AG's office at 8:05. I want to dig in on the election stuff right here, though, because there's multiple different sides of this story to unpack, and you heard some of it from our news partners at the Louisiana Radio Network right there, right? The House elections are now suspended because the state's congressional map being declared unconstitutional. I completely agree with suspending the elections after the Supreme Court said what they said. Now, got to ask the Supreme Court, why did you paint us into, I know it's the second time I've used that phrase today, why did you paint us into a corner, Supreme Court? You drop your ruling 3 days before early voting is open. You drop your ruling after some mail-in ballots have already been sent out. Like, that's a hard place to be right there. Not to mention the congressional races are just one race on each person's ticket. When you've got Senate, you've got state Supreme Court, you've got 5 constitutional amendments. Now, how many people over the last 3 days are going to look at the calendar on Saturday and say, oh, they suspended the election, I don't have to go? Still 2 weeks before actual election day. But still, that's a possibility of where we're at right now. Messaging has been hard enough on Nancy Landry's office when it comes to changing up to closed primaries. So we started off at a bad spot here. Now, if you want to have an opposing viewpoint on whether or not you believe that the district is constitutional or unconstitutional, speaking specifically about the 6th, whether or not you believe that, that's moot at this point because the Supreme Court has ruled. Doesn't matter what you think anymore. Now we have to work in moving forward with, okay, this is where we're at. Now, do we go to the polls to vote on an unconstitutional district? And by the way, the 6th, and we're going to pay a lot of attention to it because we're right here in it. But in order to create the 6th the way it looks, you have to have the 5th the way it looks. And I don't think there's a person out there that would argue that the 5th is more jacked up than the 6th. The 6th, I mean, it's got that diagonal going across the state. You got that diagonal like you were playing Connect 4 back in the day. Pretty sneaky, sis. You got that you're scraping the metros of 3 different cities in order to make that happen from a racial perspective, and race is the only thing you looked at when putting that district together. So now that it's been deemed unconstitutional, push pause on that one. Okay, cool. I'm there with you. Now, the campaigns that are running right now, if they're going to have to redraw maps, everything's null and void, right? If you've got a jacked up 6th and a jacked up 5th, and well, technically you got a jacked up 2nd, but that's been a jacked up 2nd since the 90s. You got to adopt a new map, so the process is going to start all over again from square one. Now, our news partners at Louisiana Radio Network caught up with political strategist Lionel Rainey. He notes all this comes after 32 candidates from both parties had already raised and spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on an election that's just not going to happen. Cut 8, please.
These candidates have gone and worked for the better part of a year, raised money, run their campaigns, and now those campaigns do not exist anymore.
This is where we're at because the Supreme Court took forever to rule. Rainey says Louisiana has entered uncharted waters with this last-minute suspension of the primary election, and as such, there are many unanswered questions, particularly when it comes to how much money the candidates will be able to raise should they choose to run in a newly drawn district. He points out that the federal government puts a cap on how much an individual can give to a specific candidate. Cut 9.
Can you go back to these people and say, hey, that race is no longer happening, I'm now running again, the race is in November, can you go back and raise more money?
It's a good question. Especially when you have the changing dynamics of new districts. And when you have the changing dynamics of new districts, you got to look at not just the players that are out there right now, but the ones who decided to sit on the sidelines based off of the winnability of the current map or the lack of a path to victory with the current map. One more from LRN on this one, and we're going to hit a different one from LRN in a second. But Rainey says the Federal Elections Commission does not grant a waiver given the unique circumstances. That's going to put the candidates who decide to continue their quest for the U.S. House in a very tough spot. Cut 10.
That's going to put some candidates in a really bad position, and these campaigns are going to have to rely on independent expenditures or super PACs, which are not limited in the amount of money they can raise.
Which means when this comes back around, it's going to get hot and heavy fast. Because when you hear campaign ads, you tell the difference. We all could tell the difference. We're not stupid. When you hear, I'm so-and-so, and I created jobs, I'm so-and-so, and I voted for this to get this for you. Those are the campaign ads from the campaign, right? When you hear the campaign ads saying, X candidate is a dirty liberal, that's a completely different, that's where the PACs come in. That's where the negative comes in. Taking shots at people left and right. So we are naturally going to gravitate towards the negative in this one. Also, as the maps come back out, and Scott McKay and I talked about this yesterday. Well, if you're Blake Miguez or Rick Edmonds, do you look at pivoting over to the 6th based off of how the new map looks? I know I would. And then what happens if Garrett Graves comes back in? I mean, all these things are going to factor into it. There's a different angle we're going to get to in just a second, but I got to remind you about the folks at Mathern's. Downtown on 3rd Street, Nicholson Gateway Shopping Center, right across the street from Tiger Stadium, where, yes, I believe they sell both umbrellas and ponchos. Mathern's has got you covered. I want to tell you about the OG location, though, over there, Mathern's at Kenilworth. This is where they started way back in the day, and they had sold it off and went to become a different grocery store, but now it's back. Now the Mathern's own this one once again, and they have put their heart and soul into making this the most top-notch grocery store around. When you talk about the number of different local products that you can find there, not just the stuff you see on the shelves everywhere, the different local products you could find there. They put a lot of emphasis on that. They put a lot of heart into that. And, oh, by the way, when you have the Mathern's Rewards app, you're earning cash towards more groceries every time you shop. Download the Mathern's app today. Use it at all 3 locations, but especially that Kenilworth location. All right, back into it with what new congressional maps might look like, or where we might go to see them. With the U.S. Supreme Court striking down the map. Our legislative session has 1 month to go, which means the people who are required to draw the new maps are already at work with it right now. LawPolitics.com publisher Jeremy Alford spoke with Louisiana Radio Network. He says a session that was coasting along could experience some turbulence over the next few weeks. Cut 14, please.
Lawmakers still have the regular work of this session to do. The budget bills are still in play, although they are ahead of schedule. Legislative leaders did have the forethought to try to get those on a fast track.
That being said, though, they've been working shortened weeks. Every legislative session runs by, it sets its own pace. Some of them, you look like you're running a fast break every trip up the court. Sometimes you're running an offensive set. This one has been a lot of offensive sets. Take the under. But that's not the case now because they have to add this back onto the docket with 1 month to go. I was out at the state capitol on Wednesday talking to more than a handful of legislators, most of whom had, well, how can I say this without violating the FCC regulations that we have? There's a word before the word storm. Yeah. And that's what it's going to look like.
Yeah. It's just going to be stuffy.
Yeah.
Stuffy.
Yeah. So session was coasting along. Did you hit 14 already, right? Yeah. Session was coasting along, and now that might change a little bit with the poop storm that could be having to draw maps. Now, the natural inclination would be just to go back to what you had before. Just revert back to what we put in 2024, hit the reset button altogether, right? I'd like to see that personally. But that's when I don't see that being an easy sell. I don't see anything being an easy sell right now. By the way, go back to Jeremy Alford talking to Louisiana Radio Network. He says the Supreme Court ruling gives legislative leaders a chance to pass a map that would add to the number of Republicans in the U.S. House. Cut 15.
There are many Republican lawmakers that want to take that 4-2 map and go to a 5-1 map.
For a number of different reasons. Let's be very clear about this. There's a number of different reasons, and none of them are about race, by the way. But if you go to a 5-1 map that is going to go back to more of compact congressional districts wherever you can get them, if you can have more compact, and they have more compact and contiguous districts. Like the 5th technically is contiguous, but if you look at the map, it's really not. If you go back, revert back to the old map, that's where we'll be on that front. But adding a Republican seat back in, when you zoom out to a national scale, that's going to play into it as well. So, by the way, yesterday the governor announced the suspension of the House races, like we said. The absentee ballots are already out there. They've already been sent out. Early voting, like we said, starts tomorrow. Now, Alfred says the late delay to the congressional primaries is also adding more work for the Secretary of State's office and the local clerks of court. Cut 16.
I don't know if those votes are just not going to be counted, or if there's going to be a system by which poll workers can take them off the ballot.
You just don't count the congressional votes, I would guess. I mean, the same way we're going to see it when we hit the polls, right? That would be the easiest answer to me. But I'm sure there's legal ramifications to the easiest answer, right? I tell you what, we're going to pick this back up. We get some audio from the governor we'll hear talking specifically about the suspension of the congressional election. We'll hit that up after we hit up Your Money Now and we hit traffic. Before that, though, I want to remind you about Landmark Bank. LandmarkBankLA.com is the website. LandmarkBankLA.com. Been a community bank since 1897, and they remain true to that mission today. Still a community bank today. What do you get when you get a community bank that's different from one of the big bankers out there? I mean, why not go to a big bank, right? They got all the money in the world, right? Well, you go to a community bank because you matter at a community bank. You go to a community bank because you see the repercussions of the bank in your community. You see the effects and the positivity in your community. Plus, you have a banker. And when you have a banker, your level of how much you matters goes through the roof. You're not just some number on a sheet that's passed around through some hands in Midtown Manhattan that have no idea who you are or what you're trying to do. You're shaking hands with somebody who knows who you are and what you're trying to do. Whether you're talking about saving for retirement, whether you're talking about investing in your future, or something as simple as opening your kid's first checking account, a community bank makes all the difference because you have a banker. Learn more at landmarkbankla.com. Good morning, Christy. I'm sending you one more. I don't know why it didn't occur to me until you're going to run this one first, by the way. I don't know why it didn't occur to me until like the middle of the segment, but I want to see what ABC News Call had on a national level. And of course they had something. Right.
And you probably get sound bites from them, right?
Yeah, I was leaving. So I was leaving two segments open in the hopes of getting Nancy Landry on. But there she's got to have all of her ducks in a row before she's going to talk. And I understand that. I respect the hell out of that. But like, it kind of left me in the lurch because I should have planned around it, but whatever. I didn't. So what? No, I got the AG's office. Nancy Landry is the Secretary of State. I got Ben Aguinaga. Damn it. Rim down. How about Exxon popping up finally?
I know. I saw that this morning.
My problem here is that one Jeff Landry cut is enough for me to do 10 minutes on. Nope. I want to try and get all three of them in. Mm-hmm. Well, she can meet her match at ZipRecruiter.
So it's supposed to bring all day today through the evening. That's what they're saying.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Shit.
Check on your drive from the Talk 107.3 Traffic Center. The drive that on Friday morning is usually a little bit lighter than the rest of the week, and we're certainly seeing that so far. No major accidents to break down. Back up, we're looking at car pretty minor if you're coming in on
6:55, Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. We're going to spend one more segment talking about the election that won't be, starting with early voting tomorrow, talking specifically about the congressional race. Everything's back. Everything is still on, y'all. Everything else is still on. It's just the congressional race that's not. And it's due to the Supreme Court decision that came down on, was it Wednesday, right after the show? I mean, like right after the show Wednesday, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So you're running afoul of the Voting Rights Act of 1965 if you nix the district, or if you say the map's unconstitutional. The way the maps were drawn to get two minority districts, and look, we went through this argument seemingly ad nauseum when it was going on, right? The number of people would say it's simple math. You got 33% of your state is black. You got to have 33% of your representation. That's 2 out of 6. That's 33%. Okay, that all makes sense. But there's other requirements of districts other than just race. The Voting Rights Act is in direct opposition with every other requirement out there, like compactness of district, shared interests of who's in that district. The people in Baton Rouge do not have the same business interests as the people of Natchitoches. So you run into that part of it. And the governor, when the Supreme Court ruling came down, just lit up I guess he called it race baiting.
This whole race baiting, race issue on the redistricting has been put to bed finally once and for all.
You would think. But I thought we put it to bed once and for all 3 decades ago. The last time Cleo Fields was in Congress. And anybody that wants to say this Supreme Court ruling is like MAGA, Republican, blah, blah, blah. No, in 1993 to 1994, a very similarly drawn district was deemed unconstitutional because of the only consideration was racial considerations. The only consideration was trying to get in line with the Voting Rights Act of 1965. That was it. They ignored everything else. And at that time it was a 3-judge panel that said it. It wasn't the full Supreme Court. It didn't make it all the way up there. But at that time, a 3-judge panel said, no, you can't base things solely off race. And yet here we are. We tried to go down the exact same path again with an unbelievably similar map. And oddly enough, the same guy holding down the off. I don't agree with Cleo Fields very often, but this poor man's going to have a congressional seat swiped out from under him twice now. I mean, the luck. Back to Governor Landry. He was a couple of different news outlets caught up with him along the way. Let's go ahead and start off with WWL down in New Orleans. Talk to him about kind of what the options are moving forward.
The court decides to give it to us on the eve of the election. What are they telling us? Are they telling us we have to draw? Are they telling us we don't have to draw? Should we draw?
I'm sorry, that was on BRZ, right? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that was BRZ.
All right. So you can hear it in the governor's voice right there. And this is one of the, I want to step away from like the pomp and circumstance and officialness of the office. At the end of the day, it's a man sitting in that seat, and that man has to make decisions. And those decisions from time to time are going to be flawed, because from time to time, he's not going to have, unbelievable amounts of time to discern. He's not going to be able to consult with a million different people. The clock is ticking on the legislative session. The elections would have opened up tomorrow as far as early voting is concerned. He's got to make a call, and we're all going to second guess him after the fact, but he's the one that's got to make the call right there. And you could hear that. Play that one more time, please. Just a hair of doubt in his voice as to like, what are we supposed to do right now? You pulled the rug out from under us.
The court decides to give it to us on the eve of the election. What are they telling us? Are they telling us we have to draw? Are they telling us we don't have to draw? Should we draw?
I'm with him. Let's draw. All right, we got to get hour 2's coming up next. Boy, he sounds awful chipper to be talking about war. 60 days worth of war, everybody. I need to go meet that widow who was happy about Ryan dying. They sound like a match made in heaven. Maybe they can hook up via ZipRecruiter.
60 days at war.
Hello.
I think this whole race baiting race issue on the redistricting has been put to bed.
Yeah, that was the clip I had.
Shot of remove.
Do what?
Every time they say straight up remove, a shot of remove.
You don't shoot vermouth. It's a mixer.
I know. That's why I'm clouding. This is horrible. Tastes like garbage when you shoot it.
A highlight reel showing a girl missing a point blank layup 4 times in a row. That's ass. No sign of my daughter's step back threes. Plural. Yeah. Oh, my word. 7:05. Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Hour 2 coming your way right now. Brian here with you. Bree Lynn producing. Starting off the second hour at 64. Starting off the 7 o'clock hour at 64 degrees in downtown Baton Rouge. We broadcast live from the 180 Pros studio. 180 Pros. Is it time for your IT to do a 180? Visit 180pros.com. Looking to get this hour rolling. Talk about state Supreme Court race in our next segment. Blair Edwards going to hop on the hotline. And then Patty G will be in the house. Been a minute since Patty G's been around. I'm looking forward to it. For those of y'all that don't know, he's the host of the Patty G Show. Once a month, we try to talk business culture, business trends. And how do I put this nicely? It leaves the rails a lot. I don't know why. I blame him.
Very similar to a Rocco segment.
A lot more tame than a Rocco segment. But there are similar. It's not the same, but there are similarities. It's somewhere in between Rocco and Franz.
I was going to say, you do that a lot. You have Franz. You have
Franz
Rocco.
Is not my fault at all, though. Like, when Franz comes on and it leaves the rails, it's because he says something for shock value.
I love it.
No.
I love it.
You
though.
don't have to deal with the emails.
That's true. And then we have Mike Strain.
That one is my fault. Those I poke and prod a little bit. I egg him on a little bit. As Dr. Strain says, we cut up the proper amount.
I love that.
We cut up the proper amount. So he's you know what? So Dr. Strain's the second Thursday of every month, right? He's on the calendar, second Thursday of every month. And the first day of the month is on a Friday. So we physically have to wait the longest amount possible to get our Dr. Strain this month. I know, right?
I always enjoy when he comes in.
Same. And he is informative. He is entertaining.
We can do a whole show with just him.
I know. He is, as the open says, he is Louisiana's greatest natural resource. And we got to wait all the way until not next Thursday, but the Thursday after.
I'm bummed.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Top stories are trending. Let's hit it. What did I do with my sheet? There it is. East Baton Rouge Metro Council voted to appoint a new parish attorney. Criminal defense and personal injury lawyer John McClendon will take on the role following the council's vote at a special meeting that was held Thursday afternoon. Oh, okay. Hang on now. We're going to take you out to Lafayette. A Lafayette High School principal.
I saw that.
Has been placed on leave after the rapper Boosie visited the school early in the week. They're grabbing this from the Acadiana Advocate.
Mm-hmm.
Northside High School principal James Rollins was placed on administrative leave after Boosie, whose real name is Torrance Hatch, visited the school on Wednesday afternoon with State Representative Tammy Chasson. This happened without district approval and violated Lafayette Parish school system policy. Boosie also met with other local officials during a visit to the city, promoting a music event at the Cajun Dome.
Here's the deal. If he would have reported that, or if he would have went through the proper channels, they would have told him no. So I would rather, what's the old saying? You would rather juice and ask for forgiveness later?
Yeah, it's easier to get forgiveness than permission.
I'm with the principal.
Yeah, me too. BRPD we were on this one yesterday, y'all. BRPD is monitoring social media for plans of retaliation following the fatal shooting of West Clark, also known as Cleasy 5. There's a lot of conversation going on about this particular shooting, who it involved, who this person was associated with, said Lieutenant Elgin McNeely. According to posts online, Clark was a close friend of rapper Fredo Bang and an affiliate of... I'm sorry, but if you're going to...
Fredo Bang! Sorry.
If you're going to take on a rapper name, why would you name yourself after the weakest and dumbest Corleone brother? That makes no sense to me. Sonny Bang. Okay. Michael Bang. I'd even go Connie Bang before Fredo Bang. Fredo was weak and stupid. Anyway, he's an affiliate of TBG, or the Top Boy Guerrilla Rap Collective. TBG has long-standing feuds with rival groups in the area, including internationally known rapper NBA Youngboy's Never Broke Again crew.
I'm sorry.
BRPD is searching for a person who officers shot at after the suspect fired. I really should be taking shots at gang members' names.
Please don't.
No,
They're going to
know.
walk through this building.
I know. BRPD is searching for a person who officers shot at after the suspect fired shot. We're not having the gang demographic, though. Not a whole lot of gangbang listeners to us, you know?
No.
I
would think
think
not.
we're good. What was I talking about?
Oh, God.
BRPD is searching for a person who officers shot at after the suspect fired shots at a vehicle on Hollywood Street. According to the police department, the suspect was walking down Hollywood Street near Longfellow Drive when they shot at a vehicle. BRPD said the suspect pointed their gun at an officer before the officer returned fire. No word if the suspect was injured. Governor Jeff Landry signed an executive order to suspend next month's primary elections so state lawmakers can pass a new congressional map that's coming after the Supreme Court decision that struck down Louisiana's second majority black congressional district in a 6-3 ruling.
Well, the partial government shutdown is over. Congress passed a bill that covers most of Homeland Security.
Yay.
Woo-hoo.
Yay. Back to business. All right. Ooh.
Well, we were talking last hour, and you make a good point. I haven't heard anything. For all I know, we could have been business as usual again.
No. So they were tapping to pay the TSA agents from another. It's like they were robbing Peter to pay Paul.
Gotcha.
Well, Peter's broke now. So it's time to pay Paul, put Paul back on the official payroll.
Yeah. Let's get Paul back on that. All right. The war in Iran enters day 60.
Fredo dropped the gun. Exactly. Sorry.
Sopranos reference?
No, Godfather. From the top stories in trending.
Yeah.
Fredo Bang. I just my whole take is, why would you name yourself after the weakest and dumbest Corleone brother?
You have a point. The war in Iran enters day 60, which should be the point where Congress would need to step in to declare war. But the Department of War insists that the ceasefire changes that date.
Whatever. I don't care anymore. I just want my gas prices to go down.
What's that commercial?
I want diesel prices to go down,
right?
So that the word affordability that was supposed to be the buzzword of this election year. America first.
I know. What's the commercial with the fish? The man's fishing. It's
What?
like you almost caught it.
Oh, it's a Geico commercial.
That's it.
Yeah, almost got in there.
Oh, see, that's what I feel like.
Yeah, always in perpetuity.
Right. David Allen Coe passed away yesterday.
I know.
I'm so bummed about
I
that
know.
because he is the bar room. That's the kind of song you play come 11 o'clock at night and you've been in there way too long.
Wow.
And the whole bar just,
Yeah.
no, hey.
The
Let me.
that was I have trouble like not going back to and I don't know what the statute of limitations is here, but not going back to when I was going out in bars underage.
Ooh.
I know. Downtown Covington, Boston Street Pub. I think we're past the statute of limitations. It's been more than 30 years. It's been more than 30 years.
Did you have a fake ID?
No.
You just got people to buy you drinks, or they just served you?
So if you went in the back, so the front of the building was Boston Street. The back of the building was the parking lot.
All right, keep
so
going.
the back of the building was the parking lot. So the bouncer was on the parking lot side. So they had some tables that were sidewalk side on the front of the street. So if you went in and just sat down at a table on the front, there was nobody checking IDs on the front end.
I always say
And
that
then
if you act like you know what you're doing, they're never going to bother you.
100%. 100%. That's how, yeah. Just go in, sit down, hey, we going to the bar for another round? Yeah, I'm in. And you just walk in, get around for the entire table, and nobody's going up to the bar.
Right.
Nobody underage is buying around for everybody.
Right. Huh.
But that song closed it down every night.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did.
Or at least on the weekends. It's not like I was some raging teenage alcoholic.
Like on a Tuesday.
Right? Okay. I'm getting so much intel on Fredo Bang. It's not funny. All right. We got a break. When we come back, state Supreme Court race will be on the ballot in this upcoming election. That one hasn't been nixed yet. So we're going to talk with Blair Edwards next.
Fredo Bang. Fredo did go out with a bang. Patrick Reynolds said.
Nice one. Up. 7:17. Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Before we dive back in, start talking about the state Supreme Court race. Do want to remind you about the folks over at Neurojust. Neurojust.com is the website, Neurojust, neurojust.com. If you or someone you'd love is battling with anxiety or depression and has been thus far treatment resistant, you want to give Neurojust a look. They specialize in something called transcranial magnetic stimulation, TMS therapy, they call it. It targets the areas of the brain that affect mood. And in so doing, they get results. We see response rates of upwards of 80, 85%. And I can speak to this directly because my mom's been there. And brain fog, gone. Sleeplessness, gone. That cloudy just malaise, gone. She showed results from it. It's been fun watching her journey along the way. And if you are in that boat where, you don't like the antidepressants, or have you seen the commercials for the pills that make the antidepressants work? You had to take a prescription to affect your prescription? Forget that. Visit neurojust.com. Want to give them a call? Call 225-330-7382. Let them tell you their story. They do it a heck of a lot better than I do. So I just send you straight over to neurojust.com. All right, coming up on May 16th, coming up tomorrow, early voting. Coming up on May 16th, we've got our first election date for the closed primaries and whatnot. Judge Blair Downing Edwards is on the ballot for state Supreme Court and joins us right now. Good morning, Judge Edwards. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am doing well as well. So it's different interviewing judges for judge races than it is, normal candidates running for like Congress and whatnot. So we take a little bit of a different approach. I start off with the most basic question out there. Give us the bio, give us the resume.
So I've been on the bench for 18 years. I was elected in 2008. I've been unopposed every time. Even when I went to the Court of Appeals, I went in unopposed, and now I'm running for the Supreme Court. I have spent my career representing families, children. I have specialty courts. I've become a trauma practitioner, an adverse childhood experience certified trainer. So I've spent a lot of time. This is what I love to do. On the Court of Appeals, it's academic. It's appellate review. It's academic. It's having 2 other panel members, which is very different
Mhm.
than being the king of the courtroom, I guess you would say. And then certainly going to the Supreme Court, they have a lot of programs and things that evidence-based programs. We have the budget for the entire judiciary in charge of discipline actions, judges and attorneys. And so I'm getting back into the swing of wanting to be and do with the community for sure.
We're talking with Judge Blair Downing Edwards, running for state Supreme Court on May 16th. What made you want this gig?
You know, that's a funny question, because what I hear is at the Court of Appeals, it's the best gig going. You kind of take care of your time, other than being there for writ conferences, administrative conferences, oral arguments. You're writing your opinions, you're researching, you're doing the things kind of on your schedule, not on your own time, because there are time limits, right?
Mm-hmm.
What really drives me to do this is to get into the programs, the drug court programs, reentry programs, doing those sorts of things. I've been working with the Supreme Court on truancy, because certainly if children are not in school, they will not be reading by the age of 3. If they're not reading by the age of 3, we know the statistics are they're going to drop out. And what happens when they drop out is they become criminals. And then we, instead of paying $16,000 a year to educate them, we're paying $100,000 to incarcerate them. So those are the things that I'm really wanting to get into the weeds of, as well as the appellate review process. I do have an accounting degree. I was an accountant for Texaco, accountant for Entergy, and I was an accountant for Entergy when I started law school, and I went part-time night school because I was a single mother with 2 children. So I have a basis for the budgetary aspect. I have a heart for the evidence-based program, and I have been researching and writing, and the only candidate that's on the Court of Appeals.
Judge Blair Downing Edwards is our guest. She's running for state Supreme Court on your May 16th ballot, or if you're early voting, starting tomorrow. All right, I got to ask you, because you were at you and your opponent were both guests at the press club Monday before last. A number of different things came up that I want to talk about. A few of them. I want to start off by just giving you an open floor to talk about. There's no way to avoid it. Your last name. You're running as a conservative. Your last name is not associated with conservatism, to be sure.
My last name is Downing.
Well, okay, your
my
married
name
right.
is Edwards. That's exactly right.
Well, then we'll go with the family you chose there. So your married name. Walk me through a little bit about how, because you're going to catch some flack for being associated with, or the sister-in-law of the former governor. That's a very Democratic name to know. Yes,
it is, and it's so funny because they have often said that she's the only Republican in the Edwards family. And you know what? I don't mind doing that. But my question is you have James Carfield, who is a Democrat, and Mary Madeline, who's a Republican. Does that make him a conservative, and does that make her a liberal? I don't think so. Not to mention, I was reared by my parents, right? The core values, I did not get into this family until I was 28 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I have always stood up for what I believed in. Not to mention, I was a judge 8 years before he ran for governor and before he was the governor. And so that, to me, that's where my core principles, I've never faltered. I've never kept my mouth shut. As a matter of fact, the puppet master, flyer that came out, they were all laughing, saying, yeah, that's right. Like somebody controls you. Right. My parents even say that. I have always been, strong-minded with a strong will. And if they don't believe the same way that I believe, well, that's okay. We can agree to disagree. But I'm not changing, my core values. They are what they are, and I believe what I believe in. And that's who I am. I'm a Christian conservative. And I apply the law as written. I don't falter from that, and that's why I'm running.
Now, let's take those conservative values and talk about how they apply in the state Supreme Court, because when you run as a Republican or a Democrat for a congressional office, it means one thing. It means something completely different in the courtroom. So talk to me about how to apply conservative values to a court.
Yeah, so when, you have to look at and they've kind of put me in the middle of, trial lawyers and that sort of thing. The trial lawyers, I think what was reported by the Louisiana Illuminator is that I raised like $750,000, and I think trial lawyers were 210 of that. At my Court of Appeals race, I didn't, you can look at it. It's not about trial lawyers. And so when I talk about Christian conservative values and the way that you view things, I mean, you really are bound by the law, right? And I think what that means is that you have to pay homage. You have to respect the legislative process and the three branches of government and not go rogue on the bench or being a political activist, but looking at the law and not saying, oh, okay, we're going to give, millions and millions of dollars to these people, or looking at, when you're looking at what's best for the state, what's best for the people, but you have to somehow directly apply the law and not go rogue on that and not decide what you're doing based on the person that's standing in front of you. It is when you're dealing with, personal injury issues, there are books to develop quantum. There are books. It's just not a rogue number or, millions of dollars. I mean, these things are crippling our society and they're crippling our state. And for they come in and we have all these accidents and they say, okay, well, I want to choose this jurisdiction. Judges have a right to say this is not the proper venue. Although subject matter jurisdiction may apply because most courts all have same subject matter jurisdiction. However, you might not have venue. And the judges have to take control of that because we shouldn't have exorbitant results in one venue, one court, and then go to the next court, and then all of a sudden, it's gone down hundreds and thousands of millions of dollars. We should be predictable in our judgments. That doesn't mean predictable in our outcomes. It means you should know what are we looking at and that we're not all over the place. If we have predictability in our judgments with our court, we have stability in our state. And that is what invites industry in here. It's not that they have to pay to play and they are upset with that. What it is that they are scared of what's going to come after. Or is their truck going to ride down the road and their lights go on and somebody gets in a wreck and then they say, oh, okay, well, it's the trucker's fault. So let's go into this jurisdiction so that we can get millions of dollars when the trucker didn't even hit the person. And so I think that's what I'm talking about, is being logical, reasonable, and respecting what our branch of government, the legislative branch, decides is the law and follow that.
All right, so I wasn't going to bring up the donations thing, but you brought up the trial lawyers there for a minute, and it does account for roughly a third, which is a pretty significant chunk. Just open-ended, your response to that or how you rebut that.
Well, how I rebut it is judges are going to get, they're going to get money from attorneys, right? I have money from defense. I have money from business. What I don't have is this dark money that comes from another state. And when, and you have special interest groups. I don't have special interest groups backing me. I don't even look at my campaign finance report. I said that and people say, yeah, right. I do not look at that. Because a trial lawyer could be in the room and donate $200, and a defense attorney could be in the room and donate $1,000. The bottom line is, it doesn't matter to me. When someone gives to my campaign, they are giving to my agenda and supporting that I am going to do the right thing. And if that's not why they're giving, then they shouldn't give. Because I'm not going to look to see how much anybody gives, how much anybody pays. I don't have these special interest groups, all gas or whatever, although I am very qualified in that area. That is just the way that I have conducted myself. I can tell you from 2008 all the way through, I guess, my Court of Appeals election, I didn't have $30,000 is what I'm told. I have asked my campaign people to please scrutinize it to let me know, not dollar amounts per individual or per whatever it is business, but just as a general rule that I understand and know. So when I am confronted with that with that question. It's just been, $1.2 million to come in, and they haven't attacked my record. And that's concerning because, my opponent's record, and he says that this is not true. Westlaw and Nexus don't lie. I mean, he says he applies the law as written, but 42% of the time it's overturned.
Sorry, we're not. When we interview candidates here, we keep it to this candidate and not
Okay.
that's that. And we got 1 minute to go here with Judge Blair Downing Edwards. In that last minute, I just want to talk about the campaign trail real quick. What are you hearing from Louisianans as far as what their needs are from this post?
I think what they're needing is predictability, knowing that they're not going to be, slammed with these amazingly high judgments, knowing that you're going to apply the law as it's written. And that's something that I do. I also, after I've done it, I've had cases where I'm like, is this really what the outcome that they wanted and that they meant to have? I talked to my legislators. I let them know this is how, we're looking at this. Is there something that needs to be changed, or is this your intent? If this is your intent, this is the way it's going to be. And so in respecting that process. And so I think that's what Louisianans are looking for. I think that's what industry is looking for when they're deciding to come here. And so that's what I will give to them.
She is Judge Blair Downing Edwards on the ballot for State Supreme Court coming up on May 16th, or if you early vote starting tomorrow. Judge, thank you so much for a couple minutes this morning.
Yes, thank you so much.
Absolutely. We got a break for news, traffic, weather. When we come back from said break, Patty G will be in the house.
I got to start us a new folder. We in May already.
Yep.
It's gonna be May.
Morning.
How's that baby doing? Oh, how old is she now? She's only like a month.
3 months.
That's how fast time flies.
Yes, indeed.
So I'm assuming she's sleeping through the night now.
She is.
Good.
We started changing up a few things on her, which is our fault. So she didn't sleep through the night last night. But that's our fault. So revert back to what's
working.
Working. That's right. Don't mess up the system. So how have y'all been? Hectic, man.
Well, this week's been a month.
Oh wow.
I mean, it's natural coming off the Mercy Fair.
Yeah. You
He
gotta,
should have took Monday off,
recover.
but he's like, I can't take off because I got all these interviews.
You lined up too good of a week post Mercy Fair.
Mm-hmm.
How have you been besides the baby?
Busy, very busy, very busy. I think
As we get into the summer, things slow down. But I was telling a friend of mine, this year feels like it's just going to be back to back to back. No,
Yeah.
really. Like
There's-
even June's getting busy for us, and June don't do anything because it's hot as hell normally.
right.
But
Yeah, no, it's like there's no lull in sight.
right,
It's just a constant upward path that doesn't have a reset or a rebound or anything like that. No more of
Bro. That doesn't stop.
no, I know, that's what I'm saying. Like there used to be at some point in time, oh yeah, we just got to get to XYZ month and then we can catch our breath.
Business wise.
Business wise and personal wise.
like we don't do a whole lot down here because it's hot as hell in June and July.
Yeah.
But it feels like for whatever reason, this year's just
So it's like it wasn't an easy decision to put a pin in the show.
oh, you paused the show. Right
I did.
now, just to
You were talking about business, not personal though. I thought you were talking about from the parenting end.
Both and.
Because kill mics because I don't know. Oh. 737 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Oh man, it's been a minute since Patty G's been in the house. How are you, sir?
It's been 3 minutes. You know,
It's
we
been-
do a monthly segment.
We
It's been
missed your
3
entire
months.
we missed the entire spring sweater vest line to get to here. That's
And
what
let
we
me-
missed.
let me tell
By the
you
way,
what.
that's an inside joke for those who don't regularly listen to the show. The Patty G's in the vest, the vest collections, because apparently his arms don't need heating.
They don't. You know, when you carry around guns, you don't need to keep them warm. So yeah, exactly my point. So you'd be great in a vest.
I would.
And I
I
added,
would.
I think, 2 vests to my arsenal this year. So
Don't need it. Don't need it. The
oh,
vest is so useless.
it's so useful, man. Come on, you can find a way to use a vest. You get a certain window of time in Louisiana
Yeah.
where you can wear a jacket.
No.
The vest like doubles that window. It's if you don't look at it as a tool for warmth, look at it as a clothing accessory.
That's the thing. I'm not an accessories guy.
Well, maybe you
I'm a
need
polo
to.
and khakis guy.
Right, you add a vest in that, man.
It's like if I'm at the best
Game
dressed
changer.
ball, I'm wearing this polo and khakis. 3-year-old shoes I got off of Sheen. My wife got them for me. I like them.
They look stylish. Though.
Thank you,
I mean, we can talk about the sock coordination later, but
bro. No, no. That is solid, man. It's
so what is that? What are the socks coordinating with? Your socks are supposed to coordinate with a piece of the rest of the outfit.
Your socks are supposed to be under your shoes and your pants
No, but they're
to not
supposed
be
to.
seen by anybody. My underwear doesn't. My socks match my underwear.
It's okay. Well,
My
no one's gonna
socks match
see
my
that
drawers.
except one
That's the
person.
point.
No, everyone sees your socks. I see
No.
your socks right now. When you're sitting down, there's supposed to be another
No.
piece, another
We're
element of
supposed
your
to talk
full
business.
outfit. You're supposed to look at the
We're
whole
supposed to
picture,
talk-
Brian.
See, I told you he would do this. I told you in the first hour he would do this.
yeah, that's just Patty G.
That I would do what?
Derail the conversation. It always the train leaves the tracks the moment you step in.
That's the problem. You think a train's
Mm-hmm.
coming, man. It's just an empty track. Who knows what's gonna roll in? Tumbleweeds.
You
know,
notice he doesn't wait, Brian, and
No,
like
I
he's
know.
all in. Like
All
he
right.
derails at 30
But
seconds
here's
in.
where my professionalism comes in. You know what's going to roll in?
what's gonna roll in?
Viola Davis is going to roll in.
Oh, is she?
See,
See, she's
segue.
already rolled out. So moving
Yeah.
back to the vest.
No. Let's, no, you work downtown. We all work
I do,
downtown.
yes.
Okay, we work downtown. And I was supposed to talk about this a lot in the news last week, but things on Thursday and Friday kind of
Little
tabled this
change in
conversation
pace.
over.
Absolutely.
Right. The story, and you grabbed one from BRZ to send over to me. Baton Rouge businesses. Wait, let me load the dadgum thing.
See, I was just gonna go off
'Cause I'm
of
not
what
on
I
the- I'm not on the
experienced. The
Wi-Fi.
article was more of the talking point.
Baton Rouge businesses see boost as Viola Davis thriller films downtown. If you were downtown at all last week, you saw The cranes up in the air, the cherry pickers up in the air, the cones posted out, the no parking signs flipping everywhere. But for good reason.
So yes, I was gonna say, do you? I've got two sides of the story, right? For there's a good side of the story for what they brought to downtown, what they brought to Baton Rouge as a whole, and there's the bad side as the commuter to downtown, as you know, where our lots are, where we work, and how directly we were impacted by that. So where do you want me to start from my experience of the downtown piece?
Let's start on the negative side, and then we'll move to the positive.
So we get a letter slipped under our door about 2 weeks ago saying, hey, we're going to be filming. Just FYI, it's going to be these dates and these dates from this time to this time. Expect blocked roads, etc. So I'm like, okay, no big deal. Blocked roads, I can deal with that. Well, Monday morning rolls around and I pull up to our lot. Our lot is at the corner of 3rd and Laurel. Okay. It is managed by Metropolis. So we have monthly subscriptions for every one of our employees. We got about 9 people in the office in downtown Baton Rouge. So I got 9 spots in that lot that are reserved. So I roll up Monday morning and there's a big old no parking sign
for
blocking the whole lot, the entire lot. And I'm like, well, this is lovely. So then I drive around and I go to the other lot on River Road and Florida. So I go look there and that's a no parking sign. Then I pull up to the people manning the lot and I'm like, what's going on here? Like, oh, all these lots are reserved. I'm like, what do you mean all these lots? Every single lot in downtown has been reserved for the entire week. Every single lot that is paid to park has been reserved. So then we end up having to drive around. Turns out they only reserve the parking garage that we can now go and park in. So everybody's got to go to the parking garage. And then we got to walk about 2 or 3 blocks to the office.
The parking garage off, where's the parking garage?
It's 3rd and
North.
Not North.
Oh, 3rd Main.
3rd Main.
Yeah. It's between Main and North.
Correct.
Yeah.
So
where the YMCA is at?
Oh, no. That's the lot's closer to North. It's not by the YMCA. It's in between North and Laurel. It's like Convention, maybe.
Oh, you're on the other. Okay.
We're right by the police station. Yeah. That lot.
Okay. That's the other side.
Yeah, it's the other side. So that's the lot that they designated for us.
By the Jimmy John's.
Correct.
Yeah.
Wasn't communicated that, mostly because I didn't have my email on the account. That's on me. So nevertheless, we had to park there for the entire week and then walk about 3 blocks there. So that's the negative, right? Then the next day we get there for Tuesday and Wednesday, they now start having extras shuffling in. Well, that sign says lots reserved for extras. So 2 of my people got turned away from the lot saying, if you're not in the movie and you're not an extra, you can't park here. So then I had to get there and have a whole conversation with the folks saying, no, here's the email, here's the people that we say we're supposed to park here, and we just get credited to our account. So that's the negative, is the parking, right? That's really the only negative I had experience with, was that and leaving. So leaving on Thursday, which is my fault. I left a little later than I should have. They were filming a scene, and I don't know how much they'd go into what the movie's about, but essentially they're depicting New York City.
Really?
Yes.
They picked us?
They picked us to depict New York City. The way we know that, the New York taxi cabs, New York police cars, and New York hot dog stands.
Oh, cool.
That were actually functional. You could have walked up and bought a hot dog.
No.
Yes.
Did you?
No.
Why?
Because I was on the way out. So Thursday, the scene they were filming had to have been something around a New York traffic jam, because they had the right-hand lane totally blocked off with cars, that all the extras were in their cars with flashing lights. So then you had to get in the left-hand lane and essentially go all the way around to almost Plank Road just to get around everything that was going on.
Okay.
Because just the streets that they had cut through, you couldn't, there was really no cut through there, and then the interstate was backed up. So nevertheless, they got this whole thing backed up. So then leaving Thursday and Friday was also hectic because of the road blocks that they had.
Right.
So that was my cons.
Okay. Now the pros.
Week. The pros of the week, the amount of money that they spent here is insane.
Yeah.
I read a
Not
report.
just in sales tax and revenue, but in employees.
So in employees, sales tax and revenue, their budget, I believe, for Louisiana was $18 million. We don't get a whole lot of those films here, right? So I'm not saying all of it was spent downtown, because they did a whole lot out at Celtic Studios. So downtown, however, what I got to see firsthand, they had so many work orders put on hold get completed in 72 hours.
Wow.
All of the lights that are overhanging the streets, the public lighting, so many light bulbs got fixed and replaced with a cop car and a man lift going all around downtown, changing light bulbs.
How awesome.
Just so they could have proper lighting for this film. The hotels around the corners, everybody was just doing maintenance they've been putting off to beautify their little space for the filming. I was like, this is incredible. If this is the only positive that comes out of it, I'll take it.
Yeah, but
right?
18 million in salary trumps that.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. I'm just saying from a downtown walking perspective, that immediacy I was able to see.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't like seeing my lot empty for 4 days until they finally started using it on Thursday and Friday, but you know.
Well, so but you're talking about one of the ground lots, not the other, because there is another garage that's closer to you.
Where?
If you'd gone the other way, if you'd gone towards North Street, where the YMCA is at, there's a garage right there. That's
not managed by our parking company. So we would have had to pay for that. Because we got a monthly subscription. We don't pay every day. So I
didn't realize there was more than one company to do this.
Yeah. At least that's where we in the email that we got, one of our team members got it, said, hey, you need to park here. So we were actually specifically told where to go park. So that was a positive. The other positive was actually seeing how lively downtown became with all the extras coming in. The lots that they did occupy with like their ground base and trailers. I mean, they had, I don't know how much worth of equipment all downtown Baton Rouge. Massive cables running along the curbs to do where they were filming. You had Rufino's Catering was where they were occupying to feed everybody. And where all the extras came was right next to Map Construction, whatever that little bar is right there. Is apparently an upstairs that you can go to get dressed and changed. That's where they were cycling through all the extras and wardrobe.
Oh, a bar.
It's like that country bar.
On Third?
On Third. Down towards Laurel.
Oh, now I'm going to have to figure that one out.
Yeah. So while you figure that one out, they just had a ton of people there. But what I also noticed is there was a lot of no people sitting that are normally sitting along the sidewalks and along the abandoned buildings downtown.
What do you mean?
The occupiers, the homeless occupiers.
There you go. You can say homeless.
They were like gone for the entire week.
Crazy.
And like I was walking to our office, and sure enough, like a cop pulls up to an individual sitting down, and he gets up and he's just like, you gotta go, like shuffling them all out.
Wow.
I was like, I'm telling you, like how clean they kept downtown during this filming was insane. From the people to also just the trash. I was like, how do we get it to where we can do this year round?
Right.
What do we have to do as a city?
It's a dadgum good question. Why does it take that to spark that?
Yeah. Like, I don't know if they made a donation or what happened, how they did that.
Well,
if they paid the police department to keep it like that.
Well, they paid overtime for detail. And I want to say that the city got some, so there would be overtime for the cleanup as well. So, but 18 million in salary over a couple week period.
Yeah.
It's incredible stuff. We got to pause.
Yep.
We'll come back, talk a little more business as well. Patty G's in the house. We try to catch up with him once a month. And we will continue that in a little bit. Right now, I got to tell you about 180 Pros. 180pros.com is the website. If you have an IT provider and you just stop and evaluate that relationship, do you even have a relationship, or do you just call them when things go wrong? 180 Pros, you will have a relationship. You won't have an IT provider. You'll have an IT partner. A local IT partner. In fact, if you call 225, yes, this area code, 225-330-2200, you can learn a heck of a lot more about what it means to have an IT partner. Someone who is going to base their success off of your success. Someone who is going to make sure that your network is maintained up and running as much as is humanly possible. And if, in the off chance something goes wrong, they get you back up and running again. Because as a small business owner, you know, when your network's down, your livelihood's down. And that's what having a partner is all about. Getting out there and getting you back up and running as soon as is humanly possible. Learn more at 180pros.com, or like I said, give them a call. Talk to them directly, 225-330-2200. Here comes your money now. We'll continue with Patty G next on Talk 107.3. Oh. And we will continue that a little bit right now. And we will continue that a little bit right. And we will continue that a little bit. These allergies are just, I'm taking things for the symptoms, but like the allergies themselves are just total fog.
Really?
Total brain fog.
Wow.
Yeah.
Zyrtec and Claritin.
I took a Zyrtec this morning and yesterday morning and the day before. It's just a matter of like, my sinuses are clear right now. My throat's a little weird. I got a minor cough, but like, it's the brain fog that's doing it, and there's no pill that fixes that. I need cocaine. I'm just kidding.
Mushrooms.
I've heard about that. Is it lion's mane?
Lion's mane.
Yeah.
Somebody mentioned that too. You could just take the little vitamin form of it, huh? Lion's mane.
So
Or is it like
I get it from a tincture.
Okay.
They got a girl here who's on the show, Mycocentrics. So I do a four different.
Okay.
I do the lion's mane in the morning, and then at night I do reishi. It's a calming mind,
like
relax.
Like ashwagandha, kind of, but different.
I mean, I don't know about that.
I love me some ashwagandha.
I've never experienced ashwagandha.
I'm trying not to.
No. It's not. You're thinking of ayahuasca.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's completely different.
No, it's just a natural calming. Like instead of taking my benzos and Klonopin that I'm prescribed, if I don't want to do that because it makes me tired, I'll just take ashwagandha. It's like an herb not herb, but you know what I mean.
So then the reishi mushroom would do the same thing. So I take it and it doesn't put you to sleep, but it just like it calms you and stops your mind from racing, so you can sleep better. So, and then I do lion's mane, cordyceps, and one more in the morning.
Lion's mane and what?
Cordyceps. And then let me see what the other one is. Like lion's mane does your clarity and your brain fog. Turkey tail. So cordyceps does helps you sustain energy. It's supposed to reduce your reliance on caffeine, and it helps balance your energy. So instead of crashing in the afternoon, it's supposed to carry your energy throughout the day, help with blood flow, circulation. So yeah, I just buy it like once a month. Each little tincture will go for 30 days.
I buy my ashwagandha's Nello. They call it a tea, but it's like a powdered drink mix.
And
yeah, it will knock me the bleep out. My problem is I don't stay asleep.
See, reishi would probably help you with that.
Nothing else has.
Can't hurt.
Actually, the only thing that has is I'm not allowed to have anymore. So it's painkillers.
Okay.
Which you can't get a prescription for anything.
I tend to not like people addicted to painkillers.
Yeah, I know. I'm in a weird space. I'm not an addict of a painkiller, but like I have chronic lower back pain. So when I turn in my sleep, I wake myself up. Unless I'm on something.
Sounds like you just need some gummies.
That's nope, gummies didn't do it.
Really?
Chocolate bars didn't do it. Gummies didn't do it.
Wow. Just made you paranoid?
No. Yes, originally, and then they gave me a different one. And that would just make me, like, when I would wake up in the middle of the night, I would be completely fucked up.
You're like, where am I?
Like, I gotta go to the bathroom, and then I'm peeing in the street.
Oh God, Brian, like a drunk person.
You weren't actually peeing in the street, though.
No, I was in the driveway.
Oh, okay, that's better.
Byron says nutrition and fashion what Patty do.
Yeah, it's one of those mushrooms. One of those things where it's not like you're like, oh my gosh, my day has totally changed. But you just sit there in the afternoon. You're like, I don't really
chill.
I don't feel tired. Like, I don't feel tired. I'm still pretty focused still.
Yeah.
It's just like it's like a subtle effect. You're not like
I could use it to come down for my pre-workout.
Yeah.
7:55 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Oh, we got Patty G in the house. Hey, not for nothing. Have you ever seen The Godfather?
You know the answer to that before you ask the question, Brian.
Yeah, I know.
You don't have to put me on the spot like that all the time.
No, I check in on it every once in a while because you were supposed to see it like 3 years ago.
And then I started having, I had 3 kids.
Well, yeah, I know, but like it came up in top stories this morning, so we won't go into it because you're gonna be lost.
I mean, I'll smile and wave.
Yeah, sure.
You know,
That's
I'll follow along to the best of my ability here.
We're gonna talk a little business for these last couple minutes. And you know, the business of film is important to Louisiana and continues to grow because there's a number of people here who look at this as a side hustle. Look at the movie business as like, I do my thing with my job, but you know, I can work digital graphics. I can work construction. I can work whatever it is that they can do to help out in the movie business. And the more they grow, they might want to start asking. The more the film business grows, the more they might start asking themselves, when is it time for me to make this my full-time gig? Now, I want to talk about that for just a second.
Okay.
When you're dipping your toe in the entrepreneurship, and not just movies, but when you're dipping your toe on that entrepreneurship front, how do you know when's the right time to pull the plug on the old gig to dedicate it to the new one?
So you find yourself often, at least I find myself 3 times in this particular situation with the side gigs, right? Where you've gotten enough traction, you've gotten enough success where it's not like you're doubling your income, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you're starting to creep up on what you're living on. And then all of a sudden you hit a point in time where the side gig has an extreme conflict with the main gig,
Mm-hmm.
and you've got to make a decision, right? So you've got to either say, you know what, I'm going to risk it. I'm going to risk the main gig. And if I get in trouble with my boss, the client, whatever my main gig is, by pursuing this side gig, I'll deal with it because I know it's gotten to the point now where I may have to take a little dip in lifestyle, but I can at least pursue what I'm passionate about. Or you look at it and you say, you know, I got it to this point. I just don't feel drawn to really stop the main gig and really pursue this side gig. So there's going to come that hitting point where you've got heads butting and you've got to make that decision of A or B. And ultimately 9 times out of 10 people go with the more confirmed route, which is that main gig. And so then the side gig either gets pushed to the side or it slows down, and then you lose momentum because you didn't take that opportunity, and you find yourself like, man, this thing is just not really getting forward. It's not getting the traction I had hoped. But it's like, no, you made the decision to not go that route.
Right.
That's why it's not gaining traction.
Right. And do you have to make a decision though? And because, you know, I'm not an entrepreneur, I'm a side hustlepreneur.
Yeah.
Which, like, I'm happy with the side gig being the side gig. I'm happy not growing it and taking advantage of it when it's there. And then not like, this is my job. This is my career. This is what I've wanted to do my entire life. Everything else is just gravy.
So I would say it's going to stay at a level of stagnation, which could be a good thing, right? Mm-hmm. Where it's known, it's constant. You know what you got. Like for you, your side gig, you know, hey, it's either nights or weekends, right?
Right.
You don't have the side gig where you're like, man, my TikTok audience wants me to do my own morning show. I think I'm going to stop and take a week off of talk and not do talk for a week and go do this TikTok morning show, right?
Right.
Like that would be your conflicting point if your side gig got to that level where you're like, I'm just not going to do talk anymore. I'm going to do TikTok morning host, right?
Why not?
I mean, go for it. More power to you, but you've got your side gig position in a way they don't conflict.
Mm-hmm.
So if they never conflict, you never have to make that decision.
Right.
But for some folks, if they're doing, you know, I'm looking at 180 Pros, if they're doing IT on the side and they work for a construction company, there's going to come a point in time where they're out on a job site for the construction company and they've got a call come in midday. Hey, man, my computer's down. I need you to come do it.
Patty G Show.
Patty G Show.
Are we still on hold?
We're taking a long sabbatical.
Okay.
With no return date in sight.
No return date in sight. He'll be back eventually, though. He's Patrick Remion, host of the Patty G Show. Hour 3 is next. Well, sir, that was a fast half hour. Unbelievably fast half hour.
That's a half hour?
That was a half hour.
Jesus.
Not all airtime. It was about 20 minutes airtime.
Yeah, but still.
Yeah.
Time flies when you're having fun.
I know.
And talking fashion.
I know. Continue that a little bit. So aside from the, did we talk about the fair? Aside from the,
not entirely.
Aside from the talent show, which I absolutely love doing.
That was
way too many girls who have a dance routine that no one can see.
That's a trouble.
And by the way, it's the first time I've seen girls do magic. Every year it's a 6th grade boy. A 6th grade boy wants to do magic every year. And here's the thing. When you're on stage and you've got 3 cups and a ball under one of them that's sitting on a table and all the kids are sitting down here, they can't see shit.
Yeah.
You're wasting everyone's time. It just, I'm not trying to hate on you. I'm just saying, like, either put a camera where it needs to be and broadcast it to the kids, or do something, or put your table on the ground.
Yeah.
But you're up on a stage already, and you got a table on top, and kids are sitting way the fuck down here. Oh, move the cup. Where's the ball? Oh, it's not there. Oh, like,
I still thought it was good. I thought it was good from the commentary perspective and the fact that I was an adult further back and you could see the act.
This is the first time I've seen girls do magic. It's every other time it's been a 6th grade boy who is socially awkward.
And those girls had a little. I mean, they're still young girls performing in front of an audience, so you got that element.
Right.
But I thought they did a fine job.
The girl who did stand-up comedy was amazing.
She took the show.
She did.
Like she took the show.
I felt bad because the girl who co-emceed with me had done stand-up comedy every year before that. And she's good. She's good, but she's like snarky and subdued. And this girl was more like over the top with it wasn't like Natalie's a better writer.
Yeah.
And this girl just had stage presence and timing.
But
Natalie did a great job co-emceeing with me, but like,
yeah,
I wasn't ready for, that.
No,
she was fucking professional.
We made the comments, and I didn't want to tell you that. I was like, you should have had the girl comments.
No, if you've ever seen Natalie actually do her stand-up,
I haven't. It was just
she's good.
I think she could be good for a written routine. I think the impromptu.
Well, also she walked up here, and her and I both walked up with no script, no bits, no nothing. That was all off the cuff.
Yeah.
So, I wanted her to get some more stage time, working on timing, working on feeling the audience, working on, do I force a joke or do I let it ride? Working on, I'm on stage, but I'm not the star. Somebody else can be a star for a minute.
Yeah.
So
you got to be the side.
Yeah.
The side. You got to just be the the mover.
No, the role. Yeah.
Yeah.
Be the point guard. Distribute.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. No. The dance routines, while great and all,
it's the same shit.
Yep. We need to find a juggler. I feel like a juggler would kill.
Oh dear God.
What?
Oh dear God. Hey, kill all the mics and. Am I going to make it to the end of the show?
You will. So, speaking of 180, Haggai.
Bruh. You haven't brought enough sales. You're a fucking COO. I'm not sales. Like, he got raw dog. I mean, that was. And they bought the studio naming rights. And they buy live reads with me. So,
they're spending money.
I know.
It's tough to then sit there with him during Cup of Tech Gumbo and
I know.
Have all the 180 in the background.
Oh, it's hard.
Yeah.
But see, every other one. Which, by the way, it's way too much shit on there. It needs to just say 180 Pros. It doesn't need to say all this stuff, because if you're watching it on your phone, you can't read shit.
You can't even see their name.
Yeah.
The cameras, that's got to drop down. You got to like cut off all the logos here and have it in the lower 2/3.
Not my pig, not my farm.
Not my pig, not my farm. I don't think I've heard that one in a hot minute. Normally, not my monkey, not my circus.
Yeah.
I like not pig, not my farm. I emailed the lady who handles the sponsorships for the fair on Monday.
Oh.
I said, hey, I want to get a spot next year. If I'm way too early, just tell me. And when I should reply back later.
Who'd you even, Megan?
Whoever was on the website. Megan, maybe? I don't know.
Megan Bookvault?
Maybe. I haven't heard back. I imagine she's taking a little bit of a break after the fair.
Yeah. We did a lot of things big this year. We broke a lot of records this year. Cowboy Mouth was
Text him and tell him that I'm trying to call him.
okay. Oh no, it was. All right.
I'll see y'all.
All right, later, bro.
More news makers, and we're in business. Hour 3 of mornings with Brian Haldane. That man's rocking the Ford Focus hatchback with a lot of energy, and I really love that. Starts now. Immediate.
Don't need no hateration, huh? See, the problem is, if we get to the lyrics, I just want to hear the whole Deadgum song.
I'm here for it.
I know. I need to get in sooner. 806 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Hour 3 coming your way right now. Brian here with you. Bree Lynn producing. Starting off your 8 o'clock hour at 64 degrees in downtown Baton Rouge. We broadcast live from the 180 Pros studio. Not your IT provider, your IT partner. Starting off at 64 and cloudy. We are looking at, by the way, a 100% chance of rain today. That's what the forecast calls for, a 100% chance of rain today. We're in a bit of a window right now, but by about 10, 11 o'clock, you'll start to see it creep in. By about noon, 1 o'clock, it'll be everywhere. This evening, specifically when LSU is supposed to be on both the baseball diamond and the softball field, add lightning to the mix.
So I don't even know if they're going to be able to play today.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
Look, we don't make that call officially, right? That's
Right.
not up to us. But if I were a betting man, and I am,
It will get moved to tomorrow. They'll play a doubleheader.
Predict a doubleheader tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's where I would be right now. If I were to make a bold prediction, I don't think it's even that bold of a prediction. But coming up this hour, we're supposed to have Ben Aguinaga on talking about the. He's the state's solicitor general. He's in the AG's office. How did we get to where we are with having to push pause on a congressional election? How did we get to where we are, and how do we sift our way through it? Also, states being sued as a result of it. We'll hopefully talk with Ben here in just a little bit about that. While I have a free minute, let me remind you about Guarantee Health Solutions. Guarantee Health Solutions, born out of hospitality, born for your medical office. If you run an urgent care, if you own an urgent care, if you own a specialty medical practice, a primary care, heck, if you run a hospital, Guarantee Health Solutions is here for you to bridge that gap between healthcare and hospitality. Rachel Fricke was the one who came up with the whole idea behind it, and it started from her own experience about how transactional things felt, how detached the humanity was from the actual care. And when you're going through it as a patient or as a patient's family, you need that touch, you need that love. You need to make sure that it's more than just, the treatment of the disease itself or whatever's going on. And from there, she built out a 4-pillar system. You can learn about it at guaranteehealth.com. That 4-pillar system building on building, selling, delivering, and measuring. That 4-pillar system built off of taking your relationship with your patients and turning them into just raging fans of yours. You can learn more at guaranteehealth.com. Any luck with Ben? No. All right. Well, we will. You know what? We try him one more time. If we don't get him here, we'll go back to some of the governor's audio from earlier. No big deal. If not, we were. There's been a lot of moving parts at a very, really, really quick turnaround here for what has come down this week. What has transpired this week? Wednesday. I mean, almost immediately after the show Wednesday, the Supreme Court ruled that our congressional maps were unconstitutional, based too much on race. And the argument up until then was about, do you think the maps are based on race or not? Or are they based solely on race or not? Go ahead and grab the governor's cuts again. That's if you walk down the path of what the Voting Rights Act of 1965 says, if you walk down that path, it's a simple math equation. And we've had this conversation with Congressman Troy Carter so many times I can't even count. And I hear him loud and clear. He'll tell you it's simple math. 1/3 of the state is African American. Therefore, 1/3 of the representation should follow suit with that. And 1/3 of the representation would be 2 out of 6 congresspersons, which gives us a 4-2 map, or gives us a 4-2 breakdown. But I would rebut with the Voting Rights Act of 1965 flies in the face of what the Constitution calls for in the first place. And that is a compact district that is continuity, contiguity. That is not having districts where if you want to get from one side of the district to the other efficiently, you physically have to leave the state. That's just dumb. That is not having a district that stretches across 11 parishes on a diagonal, scraping 3 metros while avoiding certain blocks in order to amass the right number of African American voters. The Voting Rights Act says you need to take into account the racial breakdown, but everything else says it can't be just race. So it went to the Supreme Court, and on Wednesday, the Supreme Court made their ruling. Your ruling at that point doesn't matter, or your opinion at that point doesn't matter because the ruling's been made. Now you got to push to the next question. Which is, once the Supreme Court has deemed them unconstitutional, how could you go back and hold a vote for people to vote for unconstitutional districts or vote in unconstitutional districts? So regardless of what you thought about the Voting Rights Act, Supreme Court has now made the call. By the way, it's the same call that a 3-judge panel moved to 30 plus years ago. So that's where we're at now. I was hoping to catch up with Ben Aguinaga about it, talk about it from a legal perspective, but we'll circle back with him, probably circle back with AG Liz Murrell about this next week. Of course, we'll get everything from Secretary of State Nancy Landry on this next week. We're coming up on a break real quick. Before we hit that break, I want to remind you about One Bath and Closets, onebathandclosets.com. This, I learned very quickly last year that, well, I learned it a long, long time ago. If you didn't build your own house, your bathroom wasn't built for you. It became more and more evident as time wore on in the Haldane house. And last year, Christy and I decided, you know what? I would like a bathroom built for me. We would like a bathroom built for us. So that's what we did. We called David Duvall at 400-8005. 400-8005. Said, David, get on out here. Tell us what our possibilities are. And he did. And we walked through them and we collaborated. And then David took it from there. And the results have been nothing short of exquisite. We went from having one vanity to 2. We went from having minimal lighting to having so much lighting. We went from the old school bathtub to the walk-in shower. And somehow along the way, we ended up getting more storage out of the bathroom as well. If you want to learn what's possible, not just in your bathroom, but in your closets, give David a look. onebathandclosets.com. ONE. onebathandclosets.com. Quick break, talking elections, but we're talking amendments. Derek Babcock joins us next. I've got to get up and walk around before I fall asleep. Hey.
Hello, hello. You want it right here for now?
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, we know. I don't know where Steve came from. Really? Yeah.
You know what?
Brian put it on his Twitter, a little trust.
What?
Oh.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know where service.
I can change it on Facebook. I won't be able to change it. Yeah, I can change it on Facebook. I won't be able to change it on YouTube. But I can. What is it? Okay.
Yes!
Cool. Let me change that. I know Brian put a little shrimp on his Twitter. There. I was like, I guess we're talking seafood.
Yeah, no, that was just putting something up there.
I wanted to put an emoji. Yeah.
Boop, boop. 816 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Shout out to everybody who helped out with the Dreams Come True Radiothon. Closed the books on that yesterday. As the Baton Rouge Clinics, especially, in teaming up with us. And by the way, thanks also to the gold sponsors, First American Bank and Boudreaux's Electrical. Purple sponsors, Chad's Collision, Subaru, Lewis Mechanical, Patient Plus, River Parish Contractors. We met all of our goals. We got all of our matching donations. Hopefully we'll have a definitive number for you real soon to talk about how much we raised.
I would say $23,000, hopefully. Because I'm thinking
I'll
that
take the
sponsor
over.
came in.
I'm going to take the over. Because,
Okay.
yeah, I'm going to take the over because I think there was one more donation coming in that was going to top.
So you're thinking 24, 25.
Probably closer to
Okay.
25. Yeah.
That would be
last minute
phenomenal.
push. I know. It absolutely would be. So we love teaming up with Miss Becky Prejean and Dreams Come True every year, granting dreams for local children just absolutely battling life-threatening illnesses. Learn more at dct.org. Okay. Coming up, starting tomorrow, early voting is open. And there will be 5 constitutional amendments on your ballot. Joining us now to talk about that, he heads up the State Republican Party, Derek Babcock. How are you, man?
Hey, doing well. Thank you, Brian. Good to be on again.
No, glad to have you back on. Every time I have you on, I realize we don't have you on enough, and we need to remedy that for sure. But we got a lot to talk about today. Do we want to break down all 5, or did you want to just look at a few in particular?
Really, 1 through 4, we're really encouraging people to vote for.
Mm-hmm.
5, we just kind of stayed out of that one, honestly. But certainly 1 through 4, we're encouraging a vote to approve these amendments.
All right, well, let's go ahead and start with number 1, then. We'll take these in order. I know in order of importance, it's probably going to be a different order. But sure. As far as just, let's go chronologically. The amendments on your ballot, let's start with number 1. What are we looking at?
Well, this is regarding civil service for state employees. And essentially what it does is it allows the legislature to either classify or unclassify civil service employees. And, of course, right now it's got to go through the Civil Service Commission, and it creates a lot of inefficiency. Of course, it's hard to discipline poor performing employees, and this would allow state government at least to operate a little more efficiently, more like a private sector employer would. And and I understand the arguments against this. Some protections are in place, but private sector employees don't have civil service protections. If someone is fired from a job or whatever for nefarious reasons or whatever, I mean, there's legal remedies for that.
Right.
And so, I think having the civil service, at least doing this, voting for this amendment doesn't actually reclassify anything. It just gives the legislature the authority to start to look at those things and create some more efficiency.
Okay, so there wasn't already a block of employees that were going to fall into this. This opens the door for them to take it that route in future sessions.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So, of course, and look, we're all about efficiency. I mean, that's one of the biggest problems in government is just it's too much bureaucracy. It creates a lot of inefficiency, and people know that. So I think doing this and allowing our legislature to kind of take control of classifying these employees would help us with that. So.
No, absolutely. Absolutely it would. And yeah, for those of us that don't work in state government, I think I don't know how to put this the right way, but I think the lack of sympathy for, well, everybody's going to runs the risk of losing their job. Yeah. Welcome to life. Welcome to adulting. That's the rest of us every day. Work harder.
Right. And the problem is, you do have those poor performing employees that you just can't do anything about a lot of times.
Right.
So this would help to alleviate some of that.
All right. Amendment number 2, kind of my wheelhouse, kind of something that I've been on board with since its inception. I am always in favor of those who want to take their destiny and put it in their own hands. Amendment number 2 would grant the St. George Community School System, bring this to fruition, a culmination of a decade-and-a-half long battle that, regardless of if you wanted this in the first place or not, just respect the game that got us to where we are. Tell me about where we're at on number 2.
Yeah, so this would allow the citizens of St. George to create their own school district. And this is just like you said, the citizens of St. George, they fought for a very long time to create their own city, and for a lot of different reasons. But one of the biggest reasons was because of the East Baton Rouge public school system.
Right. And
they wanted to take their destiny in their own hands and work towards providing a better education in their community. And so this would allow them to do that. So, and I would like to see them have the ability, of course, as a party, we're encouraging people to vote for this, to allow the citizens of St. George to do that for themselves.
So this one, Derek, by the way, Derek Babcock from the state GOP is our guest. This one is a tough one, though, because, within, you probably still see the same battle lines that you've always seen in the St. George argument. But now you're talking about opening things up for 63 other parishes who don't have a reason to have a dog in the hunt, now have to care about this. So what's the pitch to the rest of the state?
Yeah, and you're right. It's this I guess small area when you compare it to the whole state, but again, this situation could exist in other parishes as well. And when it does, they're going to want the ability to take their destiny in their own hands. And so, that's what the people of St. George are asking for, and asking people from across the state to give them that ability to do so. Again, the East Baton Rouge Parish School System, in their opinion, and again, a lot of the reasons why they fought this fight for so long was to be able to do that for themselves. So, right. Just giving them that ability to do that for themselves.
Well, and the path that they had to get there. When they were told over a decade ago, you know what, if you want a school system, you got to go form a city. Take that. And they said, hold my beer. And they formed a flipping city. You got at some point, you got to drop your political opinion and just respect the game.
Yeah. And look, they worked hard. They had to go get petitions signed, gather signatures. They
door to door in the 21st century. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
We're not talking about 1950s vacuum salesmen here.
Right. They worked hard for this. So, just honor the commitment, the effort they put forth to do this. But again, like you said, take their destiny in their own hands. And look, they did this because they want to have a better community to raise their children, raise their families in, and then they want to have the best education they can provide for their kids in that community.
The worst part about this, though, Derek, is the guys that started this, the guys and gals that started this, their kids are already grown.
I know.
If you were in kindergarten when this started, you're a sophomore in college right now.
Yeah.
So it's frustrating, but we can, finally close the chapter on this with a yes vote. And by the way, the East Baton Rouge Parish School System, I'm a big fan of Lamont Cole. EBR school system posted up a C grade as its highest in its history. And that should tell you something, right? The highest in its history, right?
Yeah.
And that's what started this whole thing. Was if you look at a C grade right now, you're like, C, ABC, you're in the top 3. But no, that's something that they haven't done before. And it spells back times the frustration.
Yeah. But look, and you mentioned the people that started this years ago, and I know a lot of those people, and I really commend them and appreciate them for what they did. I think a lot of them knew that this was going to be a long battle to fight, and they probably wouldn't get to realize a lot of the benefits that they were hoping to get, but they did it, I think, for a legacy and for generational, impact. So, it wasn't necessarily about them. It was about creating a better community for future generations. And I appreciate them for having done that. And, so I just think, again, if people will allow, give them this opportunity to continue to grow that legacy and provide a better community for themselves.
All right, let's get into the heart of it here. Amendment 3, this is our, if I'm not mistaken, this is our teacher pay raise. What's the GOP's take here?
So we, and 3 and 4 are the biggest. We actually issued endorsements on these two. And, Governor Landry, when he was running for office, he assured the teachers, school employees, we care about you. We're going to make education better in Louisiana. And he's done a whole lot to do that. And we've seen a lot of improvement in the last 2 years. And, of course, they've had some stipends the last couple of years, but they really need a permanent pay raise.
Yep.
And that's what this amendment would do. It would eliminate, of course, the 3 funds, the trust funds that are there, but it would use that money to pay down the teachers' retirement system. And that money that's saved would be able to provide those permanent pay raises for these teachers and school employees. So, again, I think just another step towards improving education in Louisiana, valuing our teachers and our school employees, and honoring the commitment Governor Landry made when he ran for governor. And so we're heavily, like I said, we actually issued endorsements for 3 and 4 and asking people to vote for Amendment 3 to provide this pay raise for the teachers and school employees.
So on Amendment 3, and I dug a little bit deeper on this one too, because on the surface, I'm very much in favor of. You want to give teachers a pay raise. I'm all on board with that because we're still below the Southern regional average. But when looking at rating 3 different trust funds, as I read up on them, these are trust funds that have just been sitting there for 40 years doing nothing.
Right. They earn some interest, and that interest has been used to fund different things.
Okay.
But the savings, if you pay down, take the money that's in those retirement funds, those trust funds, pay down the debt obligations in the retirement systems, the teacher's retirement system, the savings is more than the interest that's been earned. And so they're able to use that savings to create the permanent pay raises.
I mean, it's like it comes from Dave Ramsey's Financial Peace University.
That's right.
1 to 4 right here on Talk 107.3, by the way. But like, it is to me, this one is kind of a no-brainer, because if we need to build up other trust funds on the back end, sure, we can do that with the same way we got them stipends for 2 years, right? Let's get right on the books with the teachers on the front end, and then worry about trust funds that we never touched on the back end. The other part I like about this one, Derek, is it doesn't open the door for other trust fund raids. This is kind of isolated to itself, just to make sure the teachers know they're the ones taken care of. And I mean, school employees, all school employees will get some level of raise, but this doesn't open the door to or open the floodgates for trust fund rating. Correct.
Right. It's just the 3, and they would be used to pay down that teacher retirement system debt.
Got about 3 minutes left with Derek Babcock from the state GOP. All right, tell me all about Amendment 4.
All right, so Amendment 4, again, Governor Landry has done a lot when he came in to bring new economic programs, development projects. There were some things that needed to be done. Obviously, a lot of tax reform. We had some of that was done last year. And he's been able to attract a lot of diversified businesses, not just oil and gas, but, technology, the Hyundai steel plant, things like that. And so this is it's one more tax that, not every state has an inventory tax. We do. And to make Louisiana a little more attractive for new businesses to come in, this would just remove that inventory tax, which is it's a big diversion for a lot of companies. Now, it doesn't remove it statewide. It obviously gives each parish the ability to do so. But this is just something else. We need to get rid of it. It discourages a lot of businesses from coming to Louisiana. And so if we can get this last piece done here, that's going to, again, help to bring a lot of economic projects to Louisiana. So, again, we endorse Amendment 4 as well, encouraging everyone to vote in favor of this amendment.
He is Derek Babcock from the state GOP. And no take on Amendment 5. We're going to get into that in a later segment, Derek, because I have some other folks who want to sound off on it. In the meanwhile, we greatly appreciate the time, sir. We'll talk to you soon.
Appreciate you, Brian. Thank you.
Thank you. We're a little bit late for ABC News. Let's hit it. Sorry. I was looking up because I was synchronizing my...
I was like 3 minutes.
Well, that's what it said on the screen up top. All right, let's get Brett on in here. Actually, let me refill my wall. Gotta tell you, I'm not feeling good. I'm not feeling good about the St. George Amendment.
Really?
You got 63 parishes that don't have a reason to care, and you have 5 amendments on every ballot we go to, and people just glaze over and blanket vote no. So, how are you, sir? Hello, we going? Yeah. Yeah.
Right? I know the lights are off in my office, so a lot of people think I'm never there. I'm like, no, I'm here. I'm always cold. It's been cold.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been having.
She's trying to put me to sleep.
I know. Come like summer though, I'm gonna move that and put that somewhere. I should just run up and really to where or like I heated. I don't heat it like that.
Thank you.
And send me any pictures you get too. Okay. I'm gonna take some too. How's the presentation? Oh my God!
It's a beautiful thing.
Wow. I love a good pulled pork mac and cheese.
Hard to beat, isn't it? Where are you going to want me?
Oh, this mic right here. We're talk about business, talk about the menu, talk about what's hot, and then we'll try to give some tips to help people up their food game at home a little bit. Then when we hit the break, we'll dig in on this. She's gonna take some pics first to make it all pretty for social media.
We do a video.
So we'll talk break.
Yeah.
Cool.
Hey, kill mics.
How's it just over there?
What?
Yeah, we're on Facebook Live and YouTube. And I just posted some on Instagram too.
Okay, cool.
I need to post on Facebook.
And then we'll show off for the camera once it's
I'm gonna make a
the dishes. Yeah.
I showed him when he waved, but no, they can't see you. That's okay. Point that down. I should put a camera on you and go dual. Look, this one. I'll put that camera on you.
8:37 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. About to dive into Foodie Friday in just a quick second. Well, in 60 seconds exactly. I need to remind you about Industry Makes. IndustryMakes.org is the website. Going to have Desiree on from Industry Makes coming up next Tuesday. So we've got a whole lot to talk about right there. What do they do with Industry Makes? Well, it was born out of a necessity to respond. When you see people attacking industry left and right, and it gets to be a very, very organized effort, who's going to return serve? That's what Industry Makes is here for. You can learn all about them at industrymakes.org. You can learn about the ambassador. You can sign up to become a member, learn about the ambassador toolkit, learn about how about the myth of Cancer Alley? Where I said myth of Cancer Alley, you're like, yeah, myth, seriously? Yeah, the numbers bear it out. When you read the numbers, when you follow the numbers, when you follow everything they're doing to create jobs and the products we use in everyday life, you can learn a heck of a lot more about getting the straight answer out there via industrymakes.org. Let others make noise. We'll make everything else. All right, it is time for Foodie Friday, and we are welcoming to the show Brett Arceneaux. How are you, sir?
I'm well. How are you?
Doing very well as well. So Arceneaux's on the river. Tell me all about it.
Yeah, so we're at the corner of Highway 73 and River Road there in Geismar. We've been open about 2 years, and we call ourselves a deli barbecue and catering company. So.
Deli Barbecue and Catering Company. If I'm not mistaken, it's just breakfast and lunch, right? No,
correct. Yeah, Monday through Friday, breakfast and lunch, full service catering as well.
Very, very good stuff. Is this what you've done your whole life?
No. So started in the food business in college. My wife is a trained chef, Suzanne. And so we were in that business for a while. We had a catering company for about 12 years. I was also in the nursing home business for quite a while.
Really?
Yes. And so I'm out of that now. And 2 years ago, we had what we thought was a real estate opportunity that turned into a restaurant opportunity.
Okay. All right. Very cool stuff. So were you drawn to this? I mean, obviously through your wife being a trained chef, is that what the draw was?
Yeah, we've always loved the food business. We love serving folks however we can, and usually that centers around the table.
Excellent stuff. All right, so when folks walk in to Arceneaux's on the river, let's start with the breakfast menu. What should they expect? What's it look like?
Sure. So we've got a traditional breakfast: grits, eggs, bacon, sausage, that sort of thing. We've also got a couple of specialty items. Our shrimp and grits is really a hit, and that's going to be served with a tasso cream sauce over some creamy grits, as well as our biscuits and gravy, which Mama's recipe. Good way to start a nice Monday morning, right?
It's breakfast is such a cheat code, right? Especially in a restaurant. Like you can take the simplest thing and make it the best thing out there.
100%.
And that's kind of the point of Foodie Friday. We're trying to up people's foodie game at home, and we're going to have some pulled pork mac and cheese coming up in a little bit. Which, oh my god, I'm drooling. love pulled pork mac and cheese. But let's stay on task for right now.
Sure.
And talk a little bit more about going from breakfast over to lunch. What are your hottest sellers around lunchtime?
Lunchtime, everybody loves the burgers. So we do a double patty smash burger. Our signature is our Hogs burger, which is 2 smash patties with provolone and cheddar. We'll put a bacon jam on that, and we're going to donate $2 off each of those to Hogs for the Cause.
No kidding.
Yes, sir.
What sparked that?
So we've been a team, participating team out there, Mr. Pig stuff, for 10 years now.
Okay.
And so, families battling pediatric cancer has always been close to our heart. I lost a dear friend years ago. Part of our slogan is love well, dine well. And the way we dine well is we feed you. The way we love well is giving back. So.
I love that. Love that. So you said $2 from every purchase goes to Hogs for the Cause, which was just a couple weeks ago.
Yes, sir.
Awesome stuff. Now, smash burger. Let's up the foodie game on this front real quick. Okay.
Sure.
Walk me through the process of making a smash burger and why it's different than just cooking a hamburger.
Sure. So we're gonna do two 3-ounce patties, and ours we mix a little pork in with our beef as well, so it adds a little fat to it. We're gonna ball that up like a meatball. We're gonna put it on our flat top. You put it in your skillet or your griddle.
Yeah.
And smash that thing down as flat as you can. Get nice crisp edges on both sides. Throw your cheese on to melt it, and you're ready to rock.
The bourbon bacon jam.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Last summer, I was taking part in a burger cooking competition. Threw some bacon jam on mine. Walked away with the title. Just ran away with the title.
You know, the only problem with that burger is you really need about 6 napkins.
Yeah.
7 napkins.
Not a problem.
Maybe? No, not at all.
Not a problem at all.
You know, another fun thing on the burgers, every 2 weeks we run a burger of the week.
Okay.
And so like right now it's our crab rangoon smash burger. Oh, God. And so that's got a cream cheese, crab meat mixture, fried wonton strips, a little sweet and sour sauce on it. Starting next week, we'll be on the Hawaiian burger. It's going to have a teriyaki glaze and a grilled pineapple on it.
No, stick with the rangoon. That cream cheese just melts, doesn't it? Does it melt like right into the burger, right into the patty?
Super creamy. And that was, I'll give a shout out to our guys that Eat the Boot. Came up with that idea, and so we ran with it.
Loving that. How great is it? Like the versatility of the burger. This is so. In a couple weeks, we're gonna be diving into grilling season. Probably talking burgers a heck of a lot more. Might have to bring you back because you're already queuing up my taste buds. But the versatility of the burger is just the greatest thing, especially when you're cooking on your own grill or on your own, I love the Blackstone. But the versatility makes it so user friendly.
Yeah, burgers and I look at boudin the same way. If I can take my favorite things and smash it onto a burger, win for everybody.
Absolutely. Speaking of favorite things, let's move over to a little pulled pork because y'all have more than a few pulled pork items here. So we're going to do the pulled pork mac and cheese in a little bit, but I'm scrolling through the menu and there's a pulled pork stuffed potato. There is this one just is pulled pork fries, and then Mr. Pig stuffed grilled cheese.
Yeah, so we talked about Hogs for the Cause. Our team name is Mr. Pig Stuff.
Okay.
And this grilled cheese was developed and started out there selling it to the crowds. And so it's on our menu, but it's some good white bread grilled off with pulled pork and again provolone and cheddar.
Yeah.
And some barbecue sauce.
So okay, I got you a bad read on that. I said Mr. Pig stuffed grilled cheese. It's Mr. Pig Stuff.
Mr. Pig Stuff.
Like Mr. Pig Stuff. Right.
Yes, sir.
So okay, can we give a little secret on making that one? Because I would imagine you throw pulled pork on a grilled cheese. How do you keep that from not being like sloppy and falling apart?
So you want to do your bread and your cheese separately from your pork, and so we'll throw the pork on the griddle.
Okay.
Get it a little crispy while your bread's toasting and your cheese is melting. Throw your pork on a little bit of sauce,
and then stack.
You
stack at the end. Okay. Wow. All right. See, I had them all together and then smash, cook, flip, cook, and then get it out of there. And then I'm looking at the delivery of this one with the metal trays, like a signature thing.
So yes, we call those our prison trays. So Suzanne, my wife is a foods don't touch kind of eater, and so it's always been a running joke with family and friends to have divided plates for her as an adult, and we felt it fit. So,
I mean, it's a good look though. It's because when you get the little cup with the pickles in it and whatnot, it goes like it's. Is prison chic a word? Is that a term?
We can go with it. I think it just became one.
We could run with it. We got Brett Arceneaux in with us from Arceneaux on the River. Your favorite thing on your own menu when you are cooking for you, what do you like to do?
What I want to eat is one of the Hogs burgers.
Okay.
All day long. What I generally eat is our shrimp remoulade salad.
Oh,
surprisingly enough, it is an absolute banger of a salad. It's romaine mix. We've got some avocado, some boiled egg. We've got a house-made remoulade dressing, grilled shrimp on it, a little Parmesan cheese.
Very good, very good. We haven't talked about catering yet at all, so let's dive in on that. I mean, based off of where you are in Geismar, I would imagine just running up and down 30 a lot, huh?
Yeah, so most of that is our industry friends in the neighborhood. But listen, we started in the catering business and our full service business there. And so if you need to feed 2 people or you need to feed 2,000 people, we're your folks. So
So catering menu stays pretty close to the restaurant menu, or
It
I
does.
just see a few other things in here.
Yeah. It varies a little bit, but it's also a guide. And so if you're looking to have something catered and it's not on there, I'll tell you that Suzanne's the best in the business, and so she can come up with whatever you need.
Brett Arceneaux from Arceneaux on the River is our guest. All right. So we're about where's my clock? There it is. We're about 2 minutes away from break, which is when we'll dive in on the pulled pork mac and cheese, but that gives us enough time to walk me through it. A lot of people take pride in their mac and cheese, and that one's looking pretty golden and pretty good right now. So mac and cheese recipe, give it to me.
Oh, I don't know if I can do all that.
Give me as much as you can. I know people get protective of their mac and cheese.
So we use we don't use traditional macaroni noodles. I don't know what they're actually called. We call them pigtails.
Okay.
So long spiral noodles. It is a traditional American home mac and cheese, good old American cheese base there.
Okay. So nothing all, out of sorts with the, the fancy goat cheese, Gouda, whatever. Just
no, sir. In my opinion, some things just are best sticking with the original.
Absolutely. Now on the pulled pork side, what kind of time and effort we're putting in to make the pulled pork?
So we smoke that over pecan wood, generally about 12, 13 hours on a smoke there.
Wow.
And so we have a house made. It's a brown sugar based rub, so nice and sweet.
Okay.
And then we topped it off with a little sweet and tangy, spicy barbecue sauce.
When you're doing your smoker, is it always pecan or does it based off the meat?
No, it's always pecan.
Yeah. It can't go wrong there.
No,
that is a tried and true.
I'm a pecan fan.
I'm right there with you. It is a tried true. It's not the easiest one though. Like maintenance wise and whatnot. Keep feeding it.
I've never run with much other, so I can't tell you. But I love the smell of it. I love the heat you can keep with it, and so that's what we rock with.
All right, so we're gonna add the pulled pork on top of the mac and cheese. Looks like we got a little green onion over there,
Onion, a little cotija cheese, and then a little barbecue sour cream to finish it off.
Barbecue sour cream to finish it off. I cannot wait. We're gonna dive in here in just a second. On the air, we're gonna hit you up with your money now in traffic on Facebook Live. I am going to stuff my face, and we will have some notes on the way back in, kind of the food review, as it were. In the meanwhile, if you wanted to check out Arceneaux, give us the address one more time.
So we're at 9438 Highway 75 in Geismar, Louisiana.
9438 Highway 75 in Geismar, Louisiana. The menu is gorgeous, and we're about to put it all to the test right here. So let's go ahead and get you to your money now. Yes, we have one more check of traffic going on. I know it's been a slow Sunday morning. I'm sorry, slow Friday morning. Goodness gracious. A slow Friday morning as far as traffic is concerned. Unfortunately, the weather staved off thus far. So we'll hit that up in just a minute. Here's your money now. All right. Let's dive in. See what we got going.
You want me to dish it up now?
Yeah. Yeah, plate it up to where it's going to be pretty. Breland will show it off for the camera. Yeah, and then I need to take a note or two. It was me wanting to say it's been easy like a Sunday morning on a Friday, and just didn't come out right. Put it all to the test right here. So let's go ahead and get you your money now. Oh, and you're definitely coming back when it's time for beef.
Love it.
Oh yeah,
it's not on our menu. It's not on our regular menu, but we do I'll say it, a fine brisket as well. So
okay.
We can do something around.
Well, I know a lot of people are staying away from brisket right now with the prices.
I found Rouse's the other day. They had some prime brisket for $4.97 a pound.
No kidding.
I can't get it that
I used
cheap
to be a big girl there. I can't be going back.
From our friend there.
Oh, your wife is on Facebook. She says your guest is so cute.
I pay her well.
What's your wife's name?
Suzanne.
Oh. Hi, Suzanne.
I try to get her to come do things like this, but she prefer to make it happen in the kitchen. One good for now?
Yes. So, Breland, show that off to the camera real quick.
Yep. Absolutely.
Oh, it's gorgeous. Oh, so
dense. as it should be, right?
I'm gonna take a picture of this before you dive in, Brian.
Yeah.
In today's world,
It's just so. You know what? I'm gonna take a picture of this. Hang on.
our connected solutions are built to power critical infrastructure and keep businesses running. We don't do one size fits all.
Yeah, right. Hopefully in portrait. Here, you know how to do it in portrait mode with the new update on the iPhone?
Generate industrial energy for everything.
Oh, there we go. And then, oh, I hate that. Because they used it. From a 13 to a 17.
They have 17s. I think I'm still on a 12. What am I on?
I'm on a 15 only because the 12 crashed out on me a while back.
Mine was starting to give me trouble. That's why. No, it's already for some reason.
Right around the time the
No, it's a 13. Do what?
Daryl's gonna take it.
Okay.
And I can edit that. Maybe do portrait there.
Appreciate you letting us come in.
No, of course. Of course. Hopefully we throw a couple people else away.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna try bowl too.
If nothing, you can grab the video to use for your own social media afterwards. It's chop it up and whatnot.
I'll do one. Yeah. However you normally make it.
There.
How is it, Brian? Hold on, wait. Let me do video.
Okay.
I love a good pulled pork. I can't tell you the last time I had pulled pork mac and cheese. Who has that around here? Like in Baton Rouge itself. That where you can get a good one. I need some pork. Did they do it? No. Well, thank you. Look how fresh.
I'll wait till after.
Ooh, take care of.
Good. Yeah, I'll wait because you don't guys are right about my hair.
It's so simple.
And everybody's gonna rush in. We always have the sales staff, and then the rest of the building come in. All right, let's try this. So this is a sour cream.
Barbecue sour cream.
Okay. Oh wow.
$8:56 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Got about 3.5 minutes left in the show. Foodie Friday rolling right along. Brett Arceneaux from Arceneaux on the River is in with us. Brett brought with him pulled pork, mac and cheese. So much to unpack, and is like just a couple of quick bites. Okay, first of all, what that rub that you put on the pulled pork, it just brings the sweet to the forefront.
Yeah. So it's heavily brown sugar, lots of other seasonings and spices in there, but yeah.
But sweet is definitely ruling the day.
Yeah.
And then when compared or contrasted with the creaminess of the mac and cheese, it just smooths right into it.
That's what we
It
like
is,
to hear.
yes. And then the barbecue sour cream, borderline unfair. Borderline unfair because it's another level of sweet.
Yeah.
It's actually another level of sweet and creamy. So it's like creamy on top of creamy between the two. Now, I want to throw this in there. That green onion is not just for color. No, because there's a little bit of it's still another sweetness, but it's like more of an earthy sweet, and it balances it back out a little bit.
Yeah, big fans of fresh green onions wherever we can.
Absolutely, and it's like it's just enough. It's not going to overpower like onion would. It's just with a green onion, you're getting a little sweet, little grassiness to it. It's just it's the perfect balance in the back end. I could eat this. I wouldn't eat this till I'm full. I'd eat this till I'm tired. Like that's good dodo food right there. That's good. It's time to take a nap afterwards.
Yep, that's that is your prep meal for a nap, no doubt.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And excuse me, allergies have been battling all week long. On the front end, you talked about keeping it simple with the mac and cheese. It shows up in the simplicity with it, keeps it to just that creamy, cheesy flavor. Not trying to, if you tried to overdo the mac and cheese, you'd take away from the pairing with the pork.
Yeah, I in my opinion, in our opinion, some things are simple as best.
Absolutely.
So it's consistent. It's delicious.
Right.
So,
but you're going to add to it on the top. I mean, I'm sure it's fine as a side, right? It's great as a side, but when you know you're going to add to it with the pulled pork, then you know, okay, there's going to be more complexity coming in. So you don't want to overcomplicate the equation on the front end.
Gotcha. Yeah. That's the thought process there. And again, I don't want to overthink it too much.
Well, that's what I'm here for. So, but it could not come out better.
Well,
fantastic stuff. Just one of the many items you will find over at Arceneaux on the river out in Geismar. They're open for breakfast. They're open for lunch. And they're here for you on a catering front as well. It's just arceneaux.com.
Arceneaux.com. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram as well. One other thing, just keep an eye out. We are going to be pushing some weekend barbecue coming up soon.
Hello.
So just good old school smokehouse action coming.
Okay. All right. Getting back to the smokehouse,
Yes,
getting back
sir.
to that pecan over there. Good stuff on the way as summer is about to roll in. Arceneaux, if you don't know how to spell Arceneaux, 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 well, with an S on the end, arceneaux.com. You'll find them in Geismar. Brett, man, thank you so much for a couple minutes.
Thanks for having me.
No, this was fantastic. The pleasure's all on this end. We got to get out of here, y'all. Moon Griffon's coming up next. He's going to have a ton on the congressional maps. We'll be back at it next week. Already got a full slate lined up, looking for the lieutenant governor, looking for the secretary of state, looking for Liz Murrell, all of them. That's coming up next week. We'll see you then. All right, Facebook, we're going to blast out of here. I just 10 out of 10 on the pulled pork mac and cheese. I cannot recommend it enough because it's just everything I said, smooth, creamy, sweet, on top of it, like smooth, creamy, sweet on steroids. Could not be better. So, yeah, thank y'all. We'll